jokes we know. Together we are ready for the show. Chats on fire, the crowd goes wild. Maggie's quips just drive me wild. Leanie's love for Java steams. We're living out our crazy dreams. On a coins Leanie, life's no lie. Sip that coffee, watch time fly. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Subscriptions climbing, views so high. Leanie's truth, it makes us cry. Maggie's got that wit so quick. We tune in daily for our fix. Community that stands so strong. Laughing, chatting all day long. From sunrise to the longest nights. Leanie's tales put out our lights. On a coins Leanie, life's no joke. Spark that cig and take a toke. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Subscriptions climb and views so high. Leanie's truth, it makes us cry. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show is always near. On a coins Leanie, life's no loud. Maggie's quips just drive me wild. Leanie's love for Java steams. We're living out our crazy dreams. On a coins Leanie, life's no lie. Sip that coffee, watch time fly. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Best damn show is always here. The best damn show is always near. According to Leanie, she started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a cup or two. Leanie is coming on right now and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie. She started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear, a friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a cup or two. Leanie is coming on right now and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Leanie.
Hello, hello, Maggie. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
I've got my wake up voice. And I'm so sorry.
Have you been
I-
asleep, Lee?
I have. I slammed out of that bed. I looked over. I was like, son of a biscuit eater. I jumped out of bed. Haven't had a coffee. Haven't had a cigarette. And I was like, oh, thank God for Maggie. So if you don't have a Maggie in your life, you guys need one, but don't steal mine.
Well, I wasn't sure. I was questioning myself because I was going, hang on. She did say 3:30 tomorrow, didn't she? I was just about to say to the chat, did anyone hear Leanie saying 3:30 tomorrow? Just to make sure, because I always doubt myself these days. But anyway, I got it right. I got
You
it
got
right.
it right. You got
But I
it right.
played the same song twice.
That's okay. That's all right. They didn't
Well,
like it. They could suck it.
she's ruthless, isn't she, guys? Especially when she wakes up.
Oh,
Now,
man.
you want to say hello to everyone and go and get yourself a drink?
Yes, yeah, go ahead. Hello, everybody. And now I'm going to get a drink, but I'm listening and I still have my headphones on. Go ahead, Max.
Go on. Go on. Let's say hello to everyone. Let's use in the house. We've got the Wicked Witch of the Midwest. Hello, dear. Lolly and Pops. We've got April. We've got our brother Sean. And we've got Luna Moon. Hello, Luna. RC, the Godfather, the one and only love of my life. And he knows it. RC.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, shut up. You go and get your coffee, you.
I'm sorry. I just had to say that. I was getting a little
No,
nauseated. Go ahead.
Okay, shut up. Do you hear that, RC? She's so jealous. She can't get over that you love me and not her. Lolly and Pop says, as long as you don't have morning breath.
Oh, I got it. I seriously jumped out of bed and came and turned this on. I
And
got it.
smell it from here. Go
I'm
and
so
brush your
sorry.
teeth,
I'm
get
so
drink and
sorry.
have a ciggy.
I'm already smoking. Girl, I'm smoking. Don't you worry about that.
Girl. See, like me, I used to be like that. Eyes is open, ciggy in my mouth. It was the best part of the day.
It's I'm waking up with Folgers in your cup, girl.
Guys, I used to smoke 50 cigarettes a day, right? Honestly, you should have seen the ashtray. Oh, it was piled high. And my husband didn't smoke at all. And he'd say, oh my God, he remembered the ashtrays. I smoked terrible. I really did. 50 a day. That's because I got in with a girl who chain smoked. So when you're in a company, I don't know what, I think I've gone through this with you before. When you're with someone, a friend who smokes a lot and all that, they'll light a cigarette or pass you one, and then you feel obligated. So when you want a cigarette, you pass them one. So it goes like this all the time. So I ended up being like, hey, ciggies, but I put them out with, I'd only have a couple of like that quick sometimes. I would literally be like that, and then I put it just after a couple of puffs, couple of whiffs, we'd say a couple of whiffs, and big. I could smoke them again after if I wanted to, because that's what they had. There was only like a couple of puffs out the cigarette, and in the end, I thought, oh, my lungs were like a concertina. I'd be sitting there and I'd hear my chest going as I was breathing, and I thought, oh no, this has got to stop. So I did it on my own. I didn't, and it was like afterwards. I'd say about 5 weeks after this patch came out, then, or it might have been out, but I'd never heard of it. Where to help you give up smoking. But I think it was the 3rd week was the absolute worst for me. At first, it was easy. I was like, oh, everyone was like, oh, made up for you. You're doing good, blah blah blah, and you feel great. But the 3rd week, oh my God. I be sitting watching the telly, and the next thing I go to reach, it was, oh, you wouldn't believe I'm telling you this now. I've said it to you before, and now I have got the feeling that I need a little ciggy. I'll have to have a little, because that's how I got over it. Doing that as if I was smoking all the time. You take deep breaths in and you sort of go lightheaded, and that gets you over that bit of a craving. Do you know what I mean? I still get like that if I start talking about it. Otherwise, it doesn't ever enter my head. I'd never smoke again. I used to go 2 years without a cigarette and go right back on them. Isn't that pathetic? Hello, Lizzo. Good to see you, girl. I told Lizzo how to pack in with a lollipop stick, didn't I, Liz? Told her to have a few whiffs. Went through it with her. And then from that, Leanie's been in love with me having a whiff of ciggy. What's that say, Luna? Oh, Maggie, 'tis. I don't know whether that's foreign, Luna. I don't know. Warning label, Nina. Hello, dear. Lizzo, I quit for 6 months after 40 years. It's hard. I was smoking from the age of 11, 12. Do you know what I mean? So I've been smoking for like, God, over 25 years. But it's hard work. The 3rd week, I think, it gets harder. And I found people said they didn't like being with other people who smoke because it made them want to smoke, or they wouldn't go out for a drink because it made them want to have a cigarette. But I found it was better to be around people smoking, whether it's because I was inhaling the smoke. God and heaven knows, I don't know. But I was fine. So how is everyone anyway? I actually woke up this morning feeling like I'd been out the night before. That groggy, horrible feeling of like, and I think it was down to that sentencing yesterday. I really do. I thought that it was like waking up after the night before when you've been on beer all night. I just didn't feel right at all. Does anyone else have a bit of a downer feeling this morning? Let me know. Or am I the only one? Don't know whether Leanie did, but I'm sure she'll tell us in a minute. And I'm sure Leanie's seen and heard what I have today. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. But I'll leave Leanie to discuss that. One thing someone told me is when you smoke cigarettes, it owns you. You don't own it because of addiction of not living without it once it becomes a bad habit. When you smoke cigarettes, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't own me now. I'm well over it. Don't get me wrong. I still feel like it, and I have spoke to people that have packed in longer than I have that still feel like a cigarette. But now it's once. I mean, I've gave up a few times, like I told you, years and years ago. I'd never go back on them now. I haven't smoked since, oh God, 2000, just the beginning of 2001. Yeah. So, yeah, me too. I've been trying, wait a minute, getting out of the police docs all day, but it's not loading. Oh, Lizzo, what I've heard and seen, it's shocking. And apparently it's going to be getting released all the time now. Is that right? Wicked Witches. Nikki said she had the best dream. Olivia and I were planking Kaylee with a surprise mini cow. Is Murphy's sister. I can still hear her laugh. Oh, isn't that weird? Oh, near her laughing. Well, I'm glad it was a nice dream, Nick. You meant how money is spent on. Oh God, yeah. Being the price of cigarettes now. I was talking to the lady next door and she told me her son had just come back from the shop after paying £15. £15 on a packet of cigarettes. Oh my God. How bad is that? I have to give in. Yeah, Lizzo, the police dropped 300 docs and a lot of details. Well, I'm sure Leanie will have some. She'll have been working on it probably last night to try and see what she could get. But, you know, you just don't think you could be shocked anymore. I was shocked about a couple of things that was said as well. I was shocked about that, but I'll talk about it when Lainey gets onto the subject.
Let me just say,
So
thank you
sorry,
guys
honey,
for
what?
being. No, it's okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Hit the like, not the likes, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Nobody really cares around here. Just let the algorithm know that we're here. Maggie, I can't believe 50 cigarettes a day. I just cannot believe it. I smoke
I know.
probably almost a full pack of cigarettes a day. It does own me as far as like going places. Like I want to be like somewhere where I can either smoke or get out quick to smoke. It does own me. I'd rather drive my own car because I refuse to smoke in anybody's car anyways. It's a whole thing. And I have quit. I quit for 7 years. And then I started again, and we've got bad storms
7
here
years,
again.
Lainey? Wow.
7 years, but something horrific to me happened in my life, and I went and I bought a pack of cigarettes, and ever since then I've been smoking, and it's the only time in my
Oh,
life
I
I
think
haven't
I
been able
know.
to quit.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But let's
Terrible.
get right to the reason why we're all here, and I think it's to discuss some things that we have all seen come out on the whole monster. I'm gonna try not to call his name anymore because he's so insignificant
Well, we can just use
anymore.
letters, like they
I
said
think
in
I'm just gonna
Tiffany.
call him the monster. I'm just gonna call him the monster. And every other name I can think of. But for my posts that I do, I'm gonna try just to remember to call him the monster. If I slip up, then I slip up, and I'm not gonna hate myself for it. But he doesn't deserve a name. He doesn't, and I think we're all seeing it as everything comes out. I did spend too much time on the computer last night going over the police documents. If you want to know where the police documents are, they're not, from when I went to bed, they were not posted on the Idaho judicial site. They're on the Moscow Police Department's site where you have to go in. That's where they're releasing those. I can only think that that Pennsylvania will do it the same way. So, like I said before, guys, you have to follow the trail to find documents on the monster. Start in Washington, and then it'll, start in Pennsylvania where he was arrested. There's documents there in the judicial site. Then it's going to go to Latah County. Then it's going to go to Ada County, and then you've got to pull up the different police stations he was in to get their own documents. All right. You can't get the Moscow police site to load up, Well,
Yeah, that happened for me. I think it's because we're in the UK, because something came up when I tried to get it. And I'm sure what it was referring to is because we're not in that country. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's the
it's
way
a
I took
lot.
it.
I mean, we thought we were overwhelmed sometimes when Idaho was dropping, stuff into his files. I was so overwhelmed. I don't know anybody else that was over on the Moscow Police Department site. Maggie, I was so overwhelmed, and
I
I
can
had
imagine.
downloaded so much stuff to my computer. And y'all know, once I start downloading,
Mhm.
luckily, I've got a couple of men around me that will show me how to find
Give it
stuff
a
because I don't
hand.
know where the hell
Yeah.
it's in here. But I was so overwhelmed. I'm curious to know. Nina's here, right?
Mhm.
Nina has her own channel as well. You guys,
Yeah.
she's become a great friend and a great resource to this channel, and I'm so grateful for her. We met her through 12 gauge. She's this cohort over there, and they work together on their different cases. And I sit in Nina's bushes sometimes at nighttime when I can't sleep, and I just listen to her lives. And if my mods don't mind dropping warning label Nina's um, channel, please check her out, you guys. She goes late at night, kind of like when we usually do. But if you're into it, then let's just do that before I forget. Can the mods, I'm so sorry, mods, I'm trying to wake up, but before I forget, can we just drop all of my friends' channels, the mods' channels in here, of course, are my friends, and then everybody that we can think of that supports the channel. The two crime channels, I'm glad Aussie's here. Hi, Aussie, that I really
Hi,
do
Doris.
follow is I'll hang out in Nina's quietly because she's on late at night when I can't sleep. I'll hang out in Aussie True Crimes in her bushes quietly as well. I'll hang out in Gages. Usually I don't hang out. Usually that's on the TV and I'm just listening to him. So you guys sub up to my friends. If you love true crime, you will love these channels. Uh, they I've learned a lot from them as far as like how if I was going to be a true crime channel, which I'm not, I will probably just do stuff that we all want to do. We'll pick something else later on. God forbid that comes up, but these are true crime channels, and the way they present it is very very good. It's down to earth with words that are easy to understand. There's people like me, they're not trying to be show offs or biggies in the crime communities. They research and they know their shit, and I appreciate that of them. Mods, don't forget to drop your own channels as well. You guys, please sub up to my friends. These are the people that Maggie and I can. I know I can speak for Mags when I say this as well. These are people that Maggie and I absolutely do trust, and that we would, if we've got time, we're hanging out, whether it's in
Yeah.
the bushes, on our TVs, or whatever. So we can really recommend these channels. It's not just because of my friends I'm doing it. No, the only friends that I've got are the ones that I actually get to hang out with. So, and don't forget to drop 12 gauges for me as well. He's not here right now. He's probably at work. But anyways, Max, I can't bring anything up because thank God you were awake and started the live. So we're going to leave you to bring stuff up. I could tell you where to go
Oh
and how
my
to
God.
get there. I could tell you where to
There
go
we,
and how to get there.
oh, go on then, Gail. Lead me the way.
Go ahead and bring up, just type into
Well,
your
what
search.
would happen if I was to leave?
It doesn't matter. It's still under
Oh,
It's
I
still
didn't
under
know.
you. No,
Sorry,
no,
Gail.
don't.
Go on.
There's a way to fix it that you and I both can present. My mind is busy still. I had a terrible dream, and
Oh,
I haven't had enough sleep, and I'm not awake yet. So,
okay, love.
if
You
you want
tell
to
me
just
then.
type in the autopsies of the 4 students, You probably will get something from People Magazine or the Daily Mail. Those are the ones that I like to read. And we'll look at that. So we'll leave Maggie to go and get those so she could read those for us. I'm sure you guys already have
So,
read them
which ones did you say from where?
from the Daily Mail or People Magazine.
Daily Mail, I've got The Independent.
The Independent's
CBS.
good too. Yes, the Independent's
Okay.
good. Thank you, Nina. Thank you so much.
Hang on. Oh, isn't this terrible? I've got to
No.
pay to remove ads, so I can't do that one. Hang on.
Hi, Sean.
No.
Hi, Wild Angel. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Lizzo, thank you for dropping those. Luna, it's good to see you again. It's nice to see you in chat.
The Washington Post, Lenny.
Washington Post is fine, but I got to yell at Sean. Sean, watch your fucking mouth, okay? Don't piss me off. You know you're mine. All right, go ahead. I just had to set Sean straight. I don't know who the hell he thinks he is
They're all
talking to
put
Wild
on.
Angel like that.
Oh my God, they're all put on get unlimited access across the Washington Post. I can't get off it.
Even the
Gotta
Washington,
sign it.
go to,
Yeah.
do you see the
asking
People
me-
Magazine one?
Me PayPal details, People Magazine. Now I can see E-Online. Should I try that one?
You could try it, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. Usually I am on it. Usually I've got a full screen full of stuff to open up and to share with you.
Can't
But
we just end the live and just start another one that quickly? I think that'd be the best.
there's only 11 people here.
Because you've got so much to bring up. Right, I've got a Idaho Murderer monster yet stabbed Xana Canoodle over 50 times.
Oh my God, that just
And
hurts my
I've
heart.
got that's just repeating about the whole story and
I mean, I can bring it up from my phone and just read it from here. Lizzo,
I
thank
can
you for
I can
for
read it.
saying
It's
that.
absolutely not a problem.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to.
we don't have
It's saying the autopsy, but I can't. It's telling the story. It's going through the whole thing. Let me just scroll down, Lee. Be with me.
Yeah, you can read the part of the story as well with it. Lizzo, thank you for saying that. Sierra needs a 1,000K, you guys. We could, I mean, I want you to sell it to all my friends, but you know, even if you don't think that you are going to like go visit their channels, that's okay. Just it doesn't cost anything to sub up to somebody. It doesn't cost anything. It just helps that creator along a little bit. And the one thing that the creators need the most of it, contrary to popular belief, the creators that I hang out with, it's not about monetization. To us that have really hung out with these creators, it's not about it. It is about 1,000's always been like the first goal for me. It was the end goal for people, and but it's about confidence because y'all, it's not easy. Most people in here are a creator in some sort of way, but you can all attest that it is so not easy to run a channel. I mean, you put on so much pressure on yourself, and it's really it's tough. So I think having a 1,000 is such a great boost of confidence. Like, you know, maybe you still will only have 10, 12, 15 in chat, but it still makes you have more confidence to go live, that maybe somebody wants to hear what you have to say, and also maybe you're a little bit relevant. So yeah, Ozzy True Crime says I still get nervous before I go live. Sometimes I do too. I have to really talk myself into it. So, you know, even if you don't ever plan on hanging out with my friends or whatever, please just sub up to them. It doesn't cost a thing. It's kind of like just giving them a hug and walking away. So I appreciate that. All right, Maggie, I'm going to let you get to this one.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let me
Okay.
make it big for you.
I'm all right. I can see it. I've got it up here myself. Can you see it okay?
Yeah, can the mods please drop the copyright in chat? This is not our work. This is
I'll put it across ours. Hang on.
our source is looks like it's E News.
There you
And
yeah, it's E
we're using
Online.
it for news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All right, Maggie, you've got the floor.
After the criminology student received 4 consecutive life sentences for the murders of college students Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kanoodle, and Ethan Chapin, the victims' autopsies were released, providing new information on how the confessed killer tragically ended their lives. The 4 University of Idaho students were found dead in an off-campus apartment in Moscow, Idaho in November 2022, with police later linking Kohberger to the case through male DNA left on a knife sheath found on a bed next to Mogan's body. Now it's been revealed that Kanoodle's body had more than 50 stab wounds, according to the autopsies released by the Moscow Police Department on July 23rd and obtained by NBC News. Authorities determined most of her injuries were sustained while she was trying to defend herself. Meanwhile, Kanoodle's boyfriend Chapin died from sharp force injuries, including a stab wound that severed the jugular vein in his neck, per a police report obtained by the Idaho Statesman. Mogan likewise died from sharp force injuries, which are caused by any objects or implements with cutting edge or pointed ends, and could be either an incision or stab, according to a paper published in the National Library of Medicine. As for Goncalves, she was suffocated and additionally suffered sharp force injuries and blunt force injuries per the autopsy obtained by NBC News. As stated by the Cleveland Clinic, blunt force is when something hits you so hard that you have injuries like broken bones, internal bleeding, or external bleeding from the deep cuts or wounds or head injuries like a severe concussion. Authorities said the attack on Goncalves made her unrecognisable, according to a police report obtained by the Statesman. Earlier this month, he pleaded guilty to killing all 4 students, responding yes in court when asked if he acted willingly, unlawfully, deliberately, and with premeditation and malice with forethought. However, the 30-year-old has not shared his motives for the slayings, and prosecutors said they could not link him to the victims or provide a motive. We are now certain who committed these unspeakable acts of evil, but what we don't know and what we may never know is why. Judge Stephen Hippler said in court, by continuing to focus on why, we continue to give him relevance and spotlight attention and power he appears to crave. Before the case came to a close, the victims' family and friends, including one of their surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, were able to confront the murderer for the suffering he inflicted. What happened that night changed everything, Mortensen said in court. Because of him, 4 beautiful, genuine, compassionate people were taken from this world for no reason. All of it gone, she continued while crying. All of the people who love them are left to carry the weight forever. He didn't just take them from this world, he took them from me, my friends, my people who felt like my home. For more of the Idaho quadruple murder case, keep reading on. And it goes on then, it's to say, on November 12th, the night before their bodies were found. And it goes on to the whole story then, which we already know, Lee, because I know you've got so much to bring up. I'll leave
Yeah.
that be.
Thank you,
Okay.
Maggie. I
Okay.
want, there's so much, there is so much. And I was like, where do we start? I was banging my head last night when I was trying to get through just some documents. I was like, well, we're going to just start. And we're going to start with Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana, because to me now that's what it's about. I really don't care anymore to find out what his motive is. Because I have already purposed in my heart that his motive is a fucking incel. And these were beautiful people. The house was the biggest house on the hill, easy to see. Chris Madonna, Maggie, Madonna.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Says that there was nowhere you could be around that property that you couldn't see in windows.
Yeah.
So in my heart, I just purpose that, he's an incel.
Do you think, Lainey, this is what's got me thinking after what was said? There was no link to him ever, stalking them on social media, whatever. It got me thinking, because he just loved Bundy, and obviously he wanted to do what Bundy done.
Mm.
He's been thrilled at the thought, and he's thought, you know what, I'm going to drive round, because he worked there. He's going to drive round and just look, and he spotted them in the window, and he's fixated on the house then, because he's thinking 4 girls live there. It's because he's seen them, he's watched them. Like it says, I think it was Kaylee was out walking the dog.
Yes.
And she complains of someone following her, even someone walking towards as if they were going to try and get in a car. So I think it was him. I think he's gone round that campus to just see what he can see, because he knew he was going to do it, and that's how they became the target. He's seen them, 4 girls, and he watched them, and he was coming back at certain times to find out the best time that the house closed down.
Yeah.
He didn't know Xana was still awake.
I have to say that is so plausible to me, because we know he had an obsession with Bundy, and I guess in my mind I'm just trying to take the easy way out to figure him out. I don't think he's gonna be figured out, because I don't see any human in him.
No, his eyes are dead. His eyes are dead.
Yeah, and I mean that's very plausible. I mean, Bundy, he looked for sorority girls, party girls, things like that. That's what got him going. I would imagine to Coburg, to the monster. That house very much looked like a sorority house. I don't know if on that campus, I know on our campus, they're not allowed to have sorority houses in Indiana, because they are known as brothels. So I don't know what their state law is. So the girls that are in sororities, of course, because they can't have their own houses like fraternities can, they end up grouping together and renting a house together. So, we all know that none of them are locking their doors. People are coming and going as will. It was said that many people had the key code to the door, but the slider was always unlocked.
Yeah.
So
Nikki, I don't believe he thought she was awake when he planned to go. Do you understand? And then obviously he seen the door dash, so he knew she was awake. But I think because the lights going off upstairs, he thought, well, they're asleep. He didn't think she'd be much to handle, probably. But,
yeah,
God, awful. And yet the motive is to kill. His motive, he wanted to kill. That's what he wanted to do. That was his motive.
Yeah, I think that's just it. He wanted to know, what did it feel like?
What it feel
Everything,
like, yeah.
yeah, everything that Olivia gave, all those questions were questions that he had wrote on his survey or whatever, on his questionnaire for his college or high school paper. I don't remember what it was right now. But prayers to Wild Angel. Her family needs prayers.
God.
Do a live on it, girl. We'll try to come on over there. If you don't want to, that's fine. Sending prayers up for your family.
Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't care. He thought she'd be, an easy target to deal with, and she put up more than a fight than he did have imagined.
So also and we haven't even gone and dug really deep enough into the autopsy. I have to find it. We'll talk about it again. I'm sure it'll come up from now until we end this live of different things. But I want to talk
That
about
must have been the mark on him outly, mustn't it?
Yeah. I want to talk about Kaylee's injuries for just a minute. Let's talk about this. So we knew before they started dropping documents that Kaylee's face was broken. That her skull was broken. She had fractures on her head. We were told that her nose was broken, right? We didn't know that she was unrecognizable. Do you guys remember when we were like trying to figure out the vacuum piece that Dylan Morton says in two of her interviews with the police? And we were going through and trying to figure out the vacuum piece, and then we ended up finding, I don't remember who brought the picture to light, but I think it was Liz who brought the picture to light, that in one of the Maddie photos, there absolutely was one of those handheld, well, it's a regular vacuum, but you could take the canister part off. I'm still believing 100% that that's what he picked up, and he bludgeoned Kaylee with. I still believe that 100%. It's the only thing that makes sense. I don't think he would have walked in the house with anything like that. I think when he encountered Kaylee and he had to kick her ass, that he had to pick up something, because let's just face it.
I think it was the knife.
You do? Some people are saying it was still the back of the knife. For me, that would be difficult.
Apparently, they're really heavy. I'll have to ask Jeff H., our stallion, because he got one, didn't he? He just wanted to feel it and look at it and see.
Right.
So I'm
I have held one before, just not knowing what I was holding, but I remember, I've got a memory of it. I don't know if I've made that up or not. I may have, but I feel like I've held one before. But, Jeff did show us that the back of that knife is like complete. What did he say?
Weapon in itself, isn't it?
Metal. Yeah, it's a weapon in itself. It's metal. It's actually put there as a weapon. So it's actually maybe a two weapon kind of instrument. One, it cuts, and two, if you flip it over right, which a man, the way Jeff was showing us, he was using it in the same way as.
Can you imagine what the damage you could do with that?
Oh, mercy.
You're thinking, God, he stabbed her and he must have thought she wasn't dying. He's tried to suffocate her and then use that on her. Did he do that after? Oh, it's just horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys read, like I said, I was all over the place in those PDFs that was put out by Moscow and not by Moscow. Yeah, by Moscow Police Department. And it said that poor Dylan, you guys, I don't know, I couldn't find exactly where it said that I had to identify Kaylee and Xana, but Kaylee was unrecognizable. But in the police report, you guys, it does say that Kaylee was unrecognizable. But somewhere in one of one of Dylan Mortensen's interviews with the police, she talks about seeing both of them and she couldn't recognize Kaylee, that her face was so damaged. And y'all, this is stuff that even the families are finding out the same time we are.
Oh.
Now it makes a lot of sense to me, Maggie. Remember, everybody was like, this is a problem everybody was having with it. They're like, there's so much inconsistency between the PCAs and how they're written. Well, now it makes sense to me because, and I knew that it would eventually, I just didn't know how it's going to make sense. But everything that the police did up until the time they walked on the property, till the time that, till whenever, they would have to write the reports on. So if you're going down the PDFs and the reports that were written, some things do change. Like in the early days, one of the officers mistaked the two names, Kaylee and Xana. Not Xana, I'm sorry, Bethany. So I can see now how we were like, wait a minute, why did he lie in the PCA? He didn't. That's just the information they collected that day. Then the next day, they find out more and they're like, oh, I was wrong about that. Well, it's not like they could go change it because on the day they wrote that report, even though he mistaked the name for Xana, not Xana, Bethany, you can't go change it because that is a legal document of what he saw that day. You can't change history, right? But then in the next document, it's kind of corrected. And then you understand what happened in the previous document. And that's what we weren't getting before.
Did you hear anything about Ethan? Didn't we were told that he had injuries to the back of his legs. I never
Yes.
heard any of that on the autopsy.
So yes, Ethan, oh God, Ethan had deep gashes to the backs of his legs. I did not find out exactly where it was. I think it was from the knee down. Maybe Nina knows exactly where, but he had 2 gashes to the backs of his legs.
Maybe it gave a word I didn't understand, and that meant the back of the legs. Maybe because I was listening to Brian Ensign, and he was saying words, that the people who do the autopsy use, and he was a bit confused by them as well. So maybe that's what it meant, and I didn't understand that.
Yeah, because he had 2 stab wounds to the. Remember, I said I think he was almost beheaded.
Yeah.
And so definitely they got the carotid artery, and he wasn't even able to get out of the bed, you guys. I mean, he had him. He was on him like white on rice, and he had him, and it is believed that
he was asleep anyway. So he was an absolute,
so,
to do it under asleep. Oh.
I think when Dylan actually hears Xana crying, it's because when Xana runs back in her room and he's attacking her, he realizes Ethan's on the bed, and he's got to stop that right now because he would have been the most, Ethan was a big old boy. He was robust, and I think he could have taken him. And so I think he stopped with Xana and just went over and quickly unalived Ethan, and then finished with Xana crying, and then he said something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm here."
Well, he made sure the knife was sharp, didn't he? Because he bought a sharpener.
Yes.
So can you imagine?
Absolutely.
That must, oh God.
So Ethan was found still on the bed, but his head was off of the bed, between the wall and the bed. So we now, and with a blanket over his top part of his body. So we now know for sure that had to be in Ethan's blood that was coming out the side of the house. The only difference was that we thought maybe Ethan was crumpled on the floor over there. He wasn't. So you can imagine, he was cut at the neck, and his head was hanging off. So there had to have been a lot of blood there. I just can't believe that Xana took on everything that she took on. I
I
mean,
know.
really, there were only 3 stab wounds, and I don't even know. Don't even know if I can use them as call them stab wounds because I can't remember because they classify things so different when it comes to cuts to the body. Um, but um, they were either upper chest. One was stabbed in the liver, and I think that was either I don't remember. I don't even want to.
He knew where to go.
He
He knew
did
where
know.
to go.
He absolutely got
Yeah.
vital organs. He took
Yeah,
out
he
vital
knew.
organs. The
Yeah.
saddest thing to me that I saw was, other than the whole situation is sad, but you read something else and you're like, oh my God, that's the saddest thing I've read. And then you read 3 down and you're like, oh my God, that's the saddest thing I've heard about this case. It's just all sad. It's just all unthinkable. But the fact that he punctured their lungs,
Oh,
that's a slow death. That's a slow,
fighting for your breath.
when you're just drowning, right?
Mhm.
And I thought about Xana, with the 50 wounds to her body. And she was also stabbed in, um, her lung was punctured. I want to say, I'm not sure that it was her liver that was punctured as well, and then one of her arteries as well. Um, and I mean, I think it was fast. It had to have been fast because I don't think he would have actually left anybody alive. And maybe that's because the places that he um, stabbed Xana, she wasn't dying quick enough. Like Ethan's was pretty much done. You got the carotid artery. That's done. And then once he finished, at least knocking Kaylee out, and then where he also got Maddie, right? I think I could be wrong. I'm interested as to what you guys think about this, but I think because of the injuries, the way that the fatal injuries, right? There's injuries and then there are the fatal ones, the ones that are going to kill you, right? The fatal injuries to Xana were not right away, like it was just going to, that you severed
Yeah.
something to the brain that was going to just knock him out and kill him. The fatal injuries to her took a little longer, and that's why he kept on with the deed that he was going after. Maybe because she just kept fighting until her last drop of blood. Xana's was 2 heart strikes. Wow. Well, my curiosity is, and I know I've read it all already, because that's of course the first thing I do is I jump into autopsies. Is that, were they strikes to the heart that would have killed her immediately? Right? That's just what I think. Or he's just totally pissed off that she was awake and he had to do another one, or that she was the one that, besides Kaylee, and he's still going at it. Because I did watch a person last night who, I don't watch these too much, but I kind of wanted to, he was zooming in on Brian. Fuck me, the monster. It sounds like I have Tourette's and I don't, you guys. Anyways, I mean to put the F-bombs where I put them, but sometimes they just come out. It might seem that I put them, it just comes because of my anger. But anyways, he was a body motion person, that reads body motions, right? And he broke it down. He was listening to the statements, and then he had Brian up on full screen, and then he was breaking down, like, he's an expert in body movements and things like that. And he showed like where he would clench his jaw, or he would kind of move his shoulders a little bit. Times where he actually kind of nodded, but you could see that he was actually moving his head in a way of a way of agreement, right? It was very fascinating to me, and things that we didn't see because we weren't zoomed into the monster. And I was like, oh wow, tell me more. And I just loved what he was saying, and my spirit agreed with him. And I couldn't believe all the movements that, because Maggie did see twice where um Ann Taylor reached over and touched him or asked him if he was okay,
Yeah.
and that was enough to piss me off.
I
And
did
I
a
could
video of him moving with his eye movements as
Oh,
well.
did you?
Mhm.
Okay. And then sometimes I could see the teeth clench, but I
Yeah.
couldn't pay attention to all of it, like his teeth, who was talking, what
He was
was
doing
said.
his jaw. His jaw
But
movements.
yeah, but the way this guy broke down his body movements, Maggie, you could totally see, like he was
When you watch,
unbothered.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he was so just like, get on with it, or just like, you're
Yeah.
annoying me when a female was talking. But let me tell you, when
Yeah.
the males came up, it was a member, who was it that said it? I think it was Melly Joe yesterday said, did anybody notice how his eyes just changed
His
colors?
eyes
Like they
changed.
got
They really
darker.
do. They go
And then
deeper.
lunch
Yeah.
lady was like, yeah. And then I was like looking, and
Yeah. They do.
and he talked about that. He talked about how his eyes actually changed, and that happened when Steve Goncalves came up there.
Yeah.
And he was pissed because, and he said you can actually see his reactions are different than any that he's putting forth when a female is talking, because he doesn't feel as secure within himself. He doesn't feel as
Yeah.
mighty. He kind of slumps, into the chair, and he feels small when that man is standing there talking to him. But yet when a female is, the chest puffs out a little bit. He's directing his eyes, like staring through him.
Like a
Um,
cold look when the
oh,
woman was talking.
yes. Yes. I
His
don't
eyes
know if
just
you
went
guys
dead.
got that.
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I was zoomed into him because you couldn't see or you could only see a bit of the people, the way like getting up doing the statements. You couldn't see them, so I zoomed in on him and I watched his jaw. He was doing something with his jaw, like as if he was clenching at times, and then he kept like blinking loads, and it was
Yeah,
just
there were
this.
certain times like he would blink, and then there were certain times he wasn't blinking at all.
No,
And it
at
had to
all.
do,
Yeah,
the body language expert said that you can tell, it has to do, that's a reaction, because there are some people that when they spoke, he didn't blink at all. He just stared at them. And then there's some people that he could blink through.
yeah.
So
Times he looked bored. He looked like, oh, you know. And it was like he was just so cold.
yeah, so
It
cool.
was, and and Brian Ensign said the same as me. I said to you yesterday, I didn't think he was going to say anything, but
Mm.
then when I heard the statements of them all and the cries and that heartfelt, the heartache, we could all feel it. It was just so, the impact that you could feel coming from them all. And I thought, I wonder if he'll change. He'll change his mind and he will speak after hearing that. Wouldn't you feel you have to say something? And he just said respectfully. What was it?
Respectfully, I decline, or something. I decline
Decline,
respectfully. Oh, he's
respectfully.
so full of shit. But the
I
truth
thought,
is,
oh my, he was talking like it was nothing.
like it was nothing. There's nothing there, though. You can't
No.
feel if you don't have that. And it's not, I don't think it's about empathy or sympathy or anything like that. I think we've all been given a degree of that. Uh, I do. I think everybody was given a degree. Whether they use
Yeah.
it or not is on them, or whether they recognize it in themselves to be able to use it is on
Yeah.
them. But I
She,
don't think I think that person was born without one, much like,
oh,
I mean,
definitely.
Bundy even had one, you guys. He really did. You have to, Bundy had something different totally than what the monster had, because Bundy really thought he was a celebrity. And he was until he died. And even now we're still here talking about it.
Yeah.
I
Did you
think the
notice?
cat, I'm sorry.
No. Did you notice the murderer, the monster, whatever? When someone had finished speaking and they go, he'd have a good look around to see who was coming. He was quite comfortable turning his head and having a look around. And I thought,
Yeah,
there's no shame in him. There's no awkwardness. There's no anything.
I would
And
just want to crawl under the table.
oh my God, I thought I thought I was going to start looking like, oh my God, now you know you're going to start seeing him like really be remorseful. Oh my, he was just looking around to see who was coming next.
All right, let's jump in. Let's jump in chat really quick. Wild Angel says, I think we're all chat and us are all in the same page right now, which is good. If you think something different, you're allowed to put it in chat. Nobody's going to bash you or anything for your opinion. You're allowed to have an opinion here. We just do it as respectfully towards each other as we can. Wild Angel said they had similar injuries. He got them in vital organs. He knew what he was doing. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Luna
Yeah.
says, you ever hear that if you have a roll of quarters in your hand, it will give you more force when you fight and punch. That is very true. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
And he got him fast and in his legs to keep him from getting to his feet.
Yeah.
I agree to that 100%. Jen says, I don't think Dylan saw him out of her door. I think she looked out her window blinds. Well, I mean, I don't know. She said out her door, but I know she was just, I just can't imagine. Not until I reread All You Did, I noticed they don't say when she made eye contact or saw any features until after. Okay. Well, if you go back and you read the whole, because they're now dropping everything, and that's some of the things that they're dropping too, or one of the things that they're dropping is the whole interviews in the entirety of them. And we've all known that everything that we've read from court documents are all redacted. We knew that from the get-go. Things weren't making sense. Things looked out of place and out of ordinary for the most part. They're just redacting, from what I noticed, names still, but I think we can figure out the names and addresses, phone numbers, numbers like Amazon numbers, things like that. You know what I mean? And people that aren't involved in the case, and as we should. So Dylan does say at one point when she opened the door, they were eye to eye.
I've got a pop-up on my phone come up from Peggy saying Google Moscow Police Department, Idaho 4, a huge release of documents happens. So
yeah, that's what. Yeah, tell her that's
is
what
that
we're
the
talking
same
about.
one?
That's what we're
That's
talking
what we're
about. We've got them all
That's what I'm saying.
downloaded. Yes.
She must be listening, I'm sure. That's what she's talking about. Thanks, Peggy.
Not hard to be a lethal heart stroke, I think is what we're saying. Luna watched the body guy too. I had it correct a little while ago, and now I can't remember what I said. The body expert, the expert body movement expert. I don't know. That's what I watched this morning earlier. It was good. Yeah, it was real good. It's the first time I've watched one. I was in its entirety, and I was like, wow, tell me more. I loved it so much. Y'all forgive me. I could not zoom in when I'm on my when I do these right here, and I am on StreamYard on my computer like I am now. I cannot zoom in any more than what I do. On my phone, it's really easy to do. He was like, whatever, get on with it. He did react differently to people. The body expert person was telling us about that. I posted a short of him seriously twitching when Olivia spoke. Olivia did get to him, and the body expert was talking. Who was the other one? Actually, when they were talking about Xana, you could see. And then, the creep looked directly into because they had a couple different cameras on him. I did not know that. And he looked, oh, I got so creeped out when he showed him look directly in the other camera from what we were watching. Like he just peered into that camera. I was like, oh gosh, it was terrible. It was creepy and painful to see. I had a piece of paper over him. Every part of the G family, I knew they'd tear him an extra asshole. Yes. Olivia hit it out of the park. Yeah. Sit up and listen to me when I'm talking to you. I liked it. Can you imagine a woman telling him what to do?
I know.
Nikki says, I wrote my thesis on a Bundy. So yes, there is a lot out there. Let me look at this really quick. All right. I want to pull up something right here real quick. I'll put it up for Maggie to read. Let's see. Give me just a second. Oh, y'all, there's also photos, many photos out there about from court, and oh, they're so heartbreaking. I think they put 2 out of Dylan, and oh, my heart just hurt for her. Just hurt for her. I'm sure it did all of you. Let me see how long this is.
Shall I take this background picture off, Lainey?
Oh, no, the background will just stay background. Everything else will get put up in front of it.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. Maggie, all right, this is from NBC News. Maybe some of you guys have already read this, but this was posted 4 hours ago. Hi, April, still here listening while cleaning. Thank you, April. I appreciate you so much for that. All right, let me put this up. Maggie, can you see that, honey?
I'll make it bigger. Hang on, bear with me. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and read this. This is our source is NBC News. It's by Matt Latives or something like that. I don't know. And it was just put out 4 hours ago. So let's just go ahead and read this and see if it's anything new in there that I haven't read since last night.
This is just about the sentencing yesterday. It says more than 300 documents released by the Moscow Police Department on Wednesday revealed grisly new details about the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students and the exhaustive investigation that led to his apprehension. He was sentenced to life in prison on Wednesday after pleading guilty to fatally stabbing college seniors Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, both 21, junior Xana Kanoodle, 20, and freshman Ethan Chapin, 20, in an off-campus home in the early hours of November 13, 2022. And it just goes on about him pleading guilty there, Lee.
Okay.
So
this is the photo I wanted to show. This is Dylan, and I don't know if this is her mom. It's obviously somebody who was with her.
Yeah, it was a mom.
So poor Dylan. God bless that girl. All right, we'll start right here.
When police entered Xana Kanoodle's bedroom, the responding officer detailed that it was obvious an intense struggle had occurred, according to one of the reports. There was blood smeared on various items in the rooms all over the floor, The document read, there was blood cast-offs on the walls in various places, including above Xana's body. Police found Canoodle lying face down on the floor in the corner of the room in her underwear and a grey sweatshirt covered in blood. According to the document, the officer logged that he saw what appeared to be defensive knife wounds on Xana's hands and a deep gash on Xana's left hand between her pointer finger and a thumb. An autopsy revealed that Canoodle had more than 50 stab wounds, according to the documents. Officers found the other 3 college students similarly covered in blood, according to the documents, and in addition to wounds on Morgan's forearms and hands, her face was mutilated. Madison had a gash under her right eye, which appeared to go from the corner of her eye to her nose. Goncalves was found unrecognisable as her facial structure was extremely damaged. Bethany Funk, one of the 2 surviving roommates, told investigators that her door was locked when she went to sleep in the early hours of November 13th, according to one of the police reports. Funk told police that she woke up Funk said she then Funk told the police that when she woke up after falling asleep to hearing what she thought was a firecracker go off, and she thought she saw a sparkler going off through the crack under her door. So do you think he has a flashlight? The report, which identifies her as B, states Funk said she then called the other surviving roommates Dylan Mortensen, or Mortensen called her. The report states she could not recall who told her she thought she had just seen someone dressed in all black in the house and a ski mask, according to the report. Mortensen, who was identified in the report as D, later said the male in black was walking out of the back door and they had made eye contact with each other. That he was white with a big nose and holding a small vacuum type of object. Funk told detectives. According to the report, Funk said Mortensen came down to her room and Mortensen did. According to the report, Funk then told Mortensen to come down to her room and Mortensen did. Funk then called the 4 Idaho phones, but nobody answered, which Funk said she thought was normal, given how late it was. Funk told detectives the pair did not call 911 at the time because Funk thought Mortensen thought she may have been mistaken and that they were both still drunk and groggy. She also said she thought one of Chapin's fraternity brothers could have been playing a prank on them. When Funk woke up at 7:30 a.m., she called her parents about a toothache before falling back to sleep. She then woke up again around 11 a.m. and noticed no one else in the house was awake. She added that Canoodle's Snapchat location was not on and it should have been. The pair then called 2 of their friends and asked them to come over because they were scared. Then one of the friends arrived and went upstairs to check things out. The friend told the pair to get out of the house and call for help. Funk told detectives that she thought Canoodle's slightly open door and she saw Canoodle on the floor in her underwear and sweatshirt. Funk then called 911. In the weeks before she was killed, Goncalves recounted a series of unnerving events to 2 of her surviving roommates. Goncalves mentioned that she believed someone was following her 2 or 3 weeks before the stabbing. One of the surviving roommates told investigators. The same roommate recalled Goncalves saying that she saw a shadow while she was outside with her dog about a month before the murders. The second surviving roommate told investigators that around the same time, Goncalves saw an unknown male. Can you lift that up, Lee? Sorry. an unknown male above their off-campus house staring at her when she took the dog outside. The documents did not tie Koberger to the events. One of the Kobergers said it. One of his friends, a WSU student whose name was redacted, told detectives that he noticed scratch marks on his body on 2 separate occasions in October and November 2022, according to one of the police reports. The friend stated that one injury was a large scratch mark on his face, when the friend described as looking like scratches from fingernails. Oh. The friend added that he saw wounds to his knuckles on 2 separate occasions. When the friend asked the monster about the marks, the monster replied he had been in a car accident. A woman matched with the monster on the dating app Tinder in the fall of 22 made a tip to authorities in March 24 and was later interviewed by detectives. The woman, whose name was redacted, told detectives that the pair discussed the murder of one of her friends and horror movies after the monster told the woman that he was a criminology student at the WSU. At one point through their conversation, the monster asked what she thought would be the worst way to die. She then said she thought it would be by a knife. To that, the monster then asked her something to the effect of, like a K-bar. Prosecutors said that the monster purchased a K-bar knife and a sheath on Amazon before the murders. The sheath was found at the crime scene, but the knife was never recovered. The monster's Tinder match stopped talking to him when his questions made her feel very uncomfortable. The monster repeatedly refused to answer questions from authorities after the murders. However, he did speak briefly with detectives during his initial interview in late 2022, following his arrest at the family home in Pennsylvania. At the onset of the interview, the monster said he was concerned about his parents and his dog after the SWAT operation of his family home. According to one of the police reports, the monster then engaged in a small talk with detectives, telling them he was a student in WSU, discussing his aspirations to become a professor, and explaining how competitive the admissions process was for his PhD program. After making small talk, detectives then asked him if he knew about what happened in November just off the University of Idaho campus. The monster replied, "Of course," adding that they became aware of the homicides because of an alert he received on his phone from his university. Detectives then explained that the homicides were why the monster was there, to which the monster replied, "Well, I think I would need a lawyer," according to the report. The monster then asked detectives what questions they would have for him. The detectives then informed him that since he had involved his Fifth Amendment rights, they would not ask him any further questions. The police reports did not reveal if authorities were ever able to pin down a motive for the killings, nor did they establish a clear link between the monster and his victims. At the sentencing hearing of Ada County District Court Judge Stephen Hippler called the monster a faceless coward. Hippler said that he shared the desire to understand why the monster carried out the killings, but that doing so gives him more power and control. There is no reason for these crimes that could approach anything resembling rationality. In my view, the time has now come to end for the monster's 15 minutes of fame. Authorities said at a press conference on Wednesday that they never found the weapon or the clothes he was wearing that night.
And there you are. Hi, Jeff. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi, Jeff.
Six string sizzling. I got so ridiculed for suggesting that they may have thought that they were being pranked. Well, oh, that's Jeff
No.
H. Okay, that's the Maverick or the Stallion.
Yeah.
He forgot to switch back to his regular account. That's all right. Yeah, I could see where that people would, because it. Listen, they wanted Dylan to be so guilty of this. They wanted drugs. They wanted the cartel, y'all. They wanted the cartel to be so involved. They wanted this to be such a big thing, like that had all these. I guess it just wasn't juicy enough, right? That 4 young people were slaughtered by a crazy mad person. That wasn't enough. That just wasn't enough. We had a sensual, how do you say it? What's the word? Sensationalize it even more to be bigger. The cartel, the whole drug scene. Dylan, she's that powerful, right? And it's still out there, you guys. I was flipping through whenever I found the guy who was reading the body language. There's still people out there that are talking about the monster being just a fall guy. He was just a fall guy. Shame. Be ashamed. Be ashamed. Yeah, so Jeff, I'm sure you have already dug into a lot of the files as well that are being put out there. That's new, his marks, right, April? Yes.
That is new, yes. So we had all that time for them to go. It was, 6 weeks?
Yeah, and you know what? Even when you were reading that, Maggie, and then when I was trying just to skim through and find out some stuff, I was looking for the autopsies. I thought there is so much. Now they have to report everything, like, right? If they do some kind of investigative thing towards it, there has to be a report written on what they have done, who they spoke to, what time, the whole legal aspect of it. But there has to be other stuff that I'll bet a whole month's salary on it, that there's stuff that Thompson did not put out. I think Thompson absolutely can say who was the target. I think he absolutely can say who was killed first. That's the easiest one to figure out. To me, that's the easiest one. It's blood trail. If it was Maddie that was killed first, then the second one's going to have Maddie's and on down the line. The third person killed is going to have Maddie's, the second person, the third person, and finally the fourth person is going to have everybody's blood.
Can you remember which girl they said was lying sort of across the other girl? Was it Maddie was across Kaylee or vice versa?
That on one of the reports I read, it said that Maddie was laid up against.
I'm thinking, I wondered if
Kaylee.
She was trying to, save her, put itself in front.
It makes sense to me in a way that Maddie would lead against Kaylee, because I think Kaylee was the outspoken one and the protector. But at the same time, I still believe that somehow
I think she said
Kaylee was killed afterwards, and maybe because in the documents it does say that they had a blanket over them. So I think, did he just push her up there closer to Kaylee and throw the blanket over him?
She felt that way when he's there.
Yeah. So I guess we won't know, but the Goncalveses did put out that Kaylee was they heard this, the coroner's the one that told them that Kaylee was sitting up kind of in the corner. And
Yeah.
also what Maggie just read and things that have come out in the documents is now we know for sure that there was a lot of blood cast off, which we knew that always happens during a stabbing, right?
And also, Lee, when she said she seen, she thought it was a firecracker, like flashing under a door. Could he have had a flashlight? Could he have used that back at that, Teresa?
I just
Because
wouldn't be.
think about
I think
it.
he came in
He's
ready.
going in thinking they're asleep. I know we knew Zana was awake, but he was going upstairs and it was dark. He knew there was no lights. Did he have a flashlight? Was that what he used as well?
It's very possible. I mean, I
they're
am like
heavy. You can
Steve.
get heavy into them.
Oh yeah, those big ones that the police officers use.
The big heavy ones.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
They're big.
you know, if you think about it, he's going into a house where people are asleep. He sees the lights going off. Obviously, is when he goes in. There's no lights on. He's sitting watching. And obviously, he knows Zana, yeah. So he thinks she's just going to be an easy target, as we've said.
Mhm.
I think, yeah,
Well-
he's probably took a flashlight, and that's what he's been holding in a hand that Dylan thought was some type of vacuum.
Vacuum, yeah. And you know, the police type flashlights. I
Yeah.
don't think it would have been hard for him to get one. Those things are blinding, even when, and they're meant to be blinding, right?
Exactly.
Like when you-
Shine that in
even
your
when-
eyes. You're not going to see anything.
You're not going to see Jack or Jill,
No.
right? So it wouldn't surprise me if,
But that'd
if
be
he did
what he
have
was
one.
carrying.
Could have been also what he hit Kaylee with.
Yeah, I'm convinced of it now.
So I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? There's just so much to ponder, so much to think about. I know the judge said in his closing to the court before he sentenced Brian that he thinks that, or I'm sorry, the monster, that he knows that there are going to be some studies done in this case as well. It should be, and I'm in full agreement with that. But I do think it needs to be publicized more. Hitler says it shouldn't be publicized. It should just be put into the books, you know, as teaching tools for criminology and forensics and for police officers, things like that. I can't say that I'm in agreement with that. I feel like the more we know about stuff and the more we know about
predators and how they use
predators and right, you know how to protect yourself.
Yeah, you look out for
because
these types of things.
yeah, I
Like
don't know about
Bundy
you guys,
asking for
but
help with his groceries to the car.
right. I absolutely, and I wouldn't you? We all would go help him. We'd be like, of
course you
course,
would.
you know.
Yeah.
And then I thought the other night, there's so many stupid stuff that I do. And my daughter has always been like, you are crazy. Like, you lock that door. The dogs need to go out. Just freaking let them out. No, I'm just leaving the door open. You know, I live in the country.
No.
I don't think nothing of it. And so there's stupid stuff I've done, or I still do, but I'm also very cognitive about things that I wasn't before. Like, I've actually, you know, I'm out on the road at nighttime. You guys know when I work, I go out of town, and I'm driving down the street, and I think if a cop pulls me over, I will not pull over without calling
No, I wouldn't.
911 to make sure that that is a true cop car. Now, would I have known to do that? No. You see a blue light, you just pull over. It's what we've been taught our whole lives.
Yeah.
We live in a different world. We have to teach our kids, you will not go to jail by calling 911 and asking them to verify that this is actually a police officer that is pulling your butt over before you decide to pull over. Just don't do stuff like gun it. You know what I mean? Just go slow, keep your car going slow. And if they say absolutely not, then you gun it. And if they say, yes, you've done something, pull over, then you pull your ass
Yeah.
over. I mean, I just think that we have to put stuff out.
Even
We've got
do
to
you get
know.
it? You get it. We get a lot here, right? Who were in fancy dress, dressed up as policemen, and pull people over, and people pull over all the
We have
time.
had crimes about that. Yes, we've had crimes.
Oh, we have
And
it
that's
loads here, Leonie, loads.
and that's what I that's and I don't know which one I heard about, and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to stop for a
Honestly.
police officer again.
Hiya, Lunchy. I was just
Hi,
wondering where you
Lunchy.
were, looking in that chat, thinking, where is she? She's in it
Making sure Jeff H is behaving. Thank you,
He's got to
Lunchy.
behave. It's a serious discussion tonight, so he knows he's on his best behaviour. Do
This
you
is a
think
good question.
BK, in his mind, sliced up that the Washington State University female officer that pulled him over with the red light violation? Well, it probably was. Yeah,
That's a great
it probably
question.
was. How dare she?
And he was challenging her, right? He was actually, well, exactly. In Pennsylvania,
that.
we don't have that rule. You can't pull out into the center. What exactly should I have done in that instance? Just don't pull out, you dumbass. How about that?
On video then, Lee?
Yes,
When
it's
he-
on the video where
I've never
he's
seen
kind
that.
of he's being, to me, is he's being condescending about it. He's just being facetious because I don't know about in y'all states in America, y'all, but I've lived in a lot of states. And in every state, I don't know if it's their law or not, but where I got my license, my very first license, was in Mississippi. And I was definitely taught that even though the light is green, do not pull out into the intersection. Do I do it? Yes. Sometimes I do, but I try not to. You know what I mean?
I think me and Leonie have spoke about this on here, that we do. We think he's looked and thought of what he'd like to do to her.
Another great question. Do you think BK ever considered what he would do to Ann Taylor? Yes,
Can you
I think
imagine him to the prison wardens, the female ones?
I absolutely think that, and I absolutely think this may be controversy to say, and I don't care, but I absolutely think that he has thought about how to kill his mother.
Yeah.
I just
his
do.
mind just sits and runs away. That's what the way he looked. You've just felt gone in and out there, Lee. I think the time he was sitting there yesterday, and this is why the way I think his mind was working. He was thinking of all he'd done to them victims, in relishing it as they were talking. He was reliving it. I really believe it. He was reliving it.
That is one thing that the body language expert there, I got it right, was saying.
You're joking.
He said that on there. He said, now that movement or whatever, he said, I totally firmly believe he is really liking what he's hearing. He can relive it.
Yeah, I thought
Which makes sense now, right?
I was watching every movie made because he had a massive on the screen.
Oh, that makes sense now, Maggie, because remember in the beginning of all the court hearings, they said something about they wanted to make sure that the camera was not panning on his neither regions.
And that's why.
And that's why I didn't get. I made fun of it.
Oh.
Yeah, I made fun of it before, but that would make sense.
Why would they say that?
Maybe somebody knew that. I mean, they know these type of criminals.
Have you never heard that being said before on the nether regions? On the nether regions? I mean,
never.
Is that,
yeah, they actually said it. We were making fun of it in chat before, where they were talking about stop looking at his lower parts.
Oh,
because that was one of the things that they said in court, that they wanted to make sure that the cameras were not focusing on his private areas.
Yeah, because
and
why
I couldn't
would a
understand
camera be focusing there? And why would they even think that? I've never heard that said about
but now it makes sense.
Oh my God. Now it does
now
make
it makes complete sense to me.
It was just a look in him. I thought, you're sitting there listening to that. Just by some expression on his face, he was reliving it, of like well, this is what I knew. I knew what all
Uh-huh.
his words were, and I knew her last look, and how just horrible.
Yes. Hello,
I
Miss
miss
Barbara
Barbara.
Mama. Jeff H says, and Brian was basically saying, so if you were behind following me, then you saw what that other guy did because it was the other guy's fault. Right.
Oh,
And then he was like, yeah. And Jeff reminds us that he says, yeah, asked if he should just back up. And he was being a smart ass. He was being
that
a
Wade
smart ass.
Wilson. He was another weirdo. Oh my God. I watched that as well.
Yeah. Terrible, terrible crime. He's a sick.
So what's going to
sick,
come
sick
out
thing.
next, Ailey? What's going to come out next?
Miss Barbara says, yes, he said people were staring at his package. And remember, we were just making fun of it. We were like, okay, nobody's staring at you. And now it makes sense because now I would be. Was he getting,
from
pleasure?
hearing that some of the, the things he was being accused of, he was getting off on it, Jeff. He loved it.
Jeff's being funny.
He loved the horror in people's. I know. He loved the horror in people's faces when they were talking about it. He was like really loving it.
And that would be it, right, Maggie? It wouldn't necessarily, I think, I could be wrong. It wouldn't necessarily be from the whole fact of seeing a beautiful female like Olivia Goncalves standing up there, right?
It wasn't about
it would be hearing the
because of what he loved to do to her in an evil way. Yeah. Apparently he's up all night in his cell. Did you read that?
Right. Yes.
He's up all night in the cell. You can hear him walking around. He sleeps about an hour and then he's awake.
And he takes a nap during the day.
He washes his hands and goes in the shower for about an hour to 45 minutes.
Yeah. And
he's obviously not scared, is he? He's just round the bend. He's twisted. He's not scared to be in the shower in case he gets jumped.
Yeah. Well, I just think that's part of the illness, right? He's just
dead
natural. Yeah. Natural clean freak. But I did find it very stunning that that same inmate that told us about him staying up all night and taking showers and washing his hands 50 times a day. He said if he wasn't scared of more repercussions from the police, that he was going to kick his ass. That's how weird he was. I don't know if that's true. That's just what was reported, but maybe we'll get prison justice a little sooner than we thought. Jeff says, Maggie popped down for a second. Hopefully she'll jump back up. Jeff says, and the judge was too stupid to realize that it wasn't the camera person zooming in on his crotch. It was the video editor doing that afterwards in the edit room. I didn't even think, Jeff, I didn't even think it was real. I was making fun of him. I was like, who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. Knock it off. Don't make him, you know what I mean? Like I was seriously I didn't think it was real, but the things you learn. Just the thought, Miss Barbara. That's right. That's right. April says to me, he had smirks sometimes. Yes. Sometimes don't look. Others, a mask type of embarrassment or a feeling of humiliation.
It was just it was like his brain wasn't even hearing anything that anyone was saying. It was just, I said, no. Sometimes I was like, he was sitting there enjoying them, thinking and guessing like motives, and you could see this very interesting look in his eyes, a deep look.
Yeah.
Of like as if he was trying to work that person out. What was in the brain?
Yeah, or reliving what they were saying.
Yeah,
and then
what they were saying. Yeah.
Sometimes to me, he just looked right through him, like.
Yeah.
Like I do that, but not on purpose to people. But I can check out. If you're talking about something and I'm over it,
you start thinking, yeah,
I'll think of something else. I'll be staring you right in the eyes, and I'll check out completely on you. Won't know what the hell you're talking about. I think everybody does that. But he definitely, I couldn't do it in that instance. I mean, you're talking about my life and something very vile that I've done. that part I couldn't have, but he's able to check out even during, like the boring parts of his crime, it seems like. April says, I saw a smirk, and at other times I saw defiance, and then a masked look of embarrassment. Maggie, I got to tell you, so for the last 3 days, Baby Chow, who had been trying to get interested in this case for forever,
Yeah.
he's been all into it, and that's what I
Oh.
noticed that he does with true crime. He
Oh.
waits until like it goes. He can't be bothered to like
To watch it all. Yeah.
to watch everything. And I asked him about it. I was like, "Where have you been?" Maggie and I have been huffing it for all these weeks doing this, and he's like, "Because you've been huffing it off of rumors and shit." And well, he didn't say shit. He doesn't cuss. I was like, "Oh, really? That shows how much you know." Because if we were doing it off of rumors, our channel would be a lot bigger. Actually, we were only doing it off of factual evidence that we could find. And he said, Mom, I just can't listen. But listen, he watched all of the court proceedings. I didn't know he was watching them.
Wow.
He watched because he texted me one night. He's like,
What does he
please
have
tell
to
me.
say? I want to know.
Oh, he said because when he first started, when he went in as a freshman, he went into the criminology. That was going to be his major, criminology. That's what he wanted to do. Not so much. He just wanted to help solve. He just wanted to solve crimes. That's what he wanted to do.
Tell him
We
to
all knew
study
that.
him.
So I didn't realize that he had been following the whole thing. He had a lot to say afterwards. And he changed his major in the second year. And the reason why he changed it is because he realized in order to be like CSI and things like that, he would want to go through the police officer because he'd want to be, he'd want to be a police officer, but be CSI. And in order to get to CSI or detective, you have to have walked the beat for many years and been just a regular police officer, and he wasn't willing to do it. And so I was looking it up with him because he was away in Ohio, and we were talking on the phone, and I was like, well, you could have become a civilian. And he said, I didn't want to be. He said, I wanted to be an officer. And he said, but I'm not willing to put in time with pulling people over for tickets and stuff like that. He said, so that's why I changed it. He said, but I'm still interested in it. I was like, well, you did the right thing. I mean, everything is going the way that no way that any of us had planned for his life, but God has sure opened a lot of doors for that kid. But I was just impressed that he told me, yeah, of course I watched every time he went to trial and stuff. He said, I just don't want to hear anybody's theories. I want to make up my own mind. And they were like, they got the right guy. And they said, and he told me, he said, and that Thompson is kind of, he said he fell on the sword. And I was like, what do you mean by that? I know if I was to say it, what I would mean by that, but I wanted to hear what he said. And he said, he fell on the sword because he said, I think he's basically telling you over and over again, even in the press conference, he was telling you that just to take the backlash that was going to happen, but also kind of soften the blow of doing a plea deal, is that they couldn't 100% prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Bryan Kohberger did it, right? Because we didn't find nothing else out, right? When Thompson stood in court and the judge told him to go ahead and give his case layout of what Bryan was up against, and he stood up. He gave us nothing that we already didn't know. No, he was too confident sitting back there. There's much more that he knows, and I think that we're finding out very slowly. Like the first week they knew about the damn car,
Yeah.
And so more and more is coming out, but he fell on the sword because he doesn't want to give any more, and he just wanted it over with. He said,
What's that mean, fell on the sword, Lee?
He gave up.
Oh, right, okay.
He just fell on the sword instead of fighting it.
Okay.
And he said he gave nothing new. He said, but I really believe they had this case wrapped up. But just like we know now, he listened to, he's like, have you heard Stephen Goncalvis's victim impact statement? I said he didn't give one. Olivia said he wasn't coming out. He said no, he gave it in the interview that they had after court. He read his victim impact statement, and he basically called out Thompson. He said it explains it all right there. All the many trials, murder trials that he's done, and that he pleaded down to manslaughter and different things like that. And he said basically that's what you've done for our family too. And
Wow.
Baby Child said it just seems like that's his MO, and I wish people knew more about that. So I asked him, because he was home last night, and I asked him, I said, do you ever, because well, he's only voted one time, and he's been waiting his whole my baby's first words coming out was, when do I get to vote for president?
Yeah, mine was the same.
Yeah, that kid's been involved in politics for as long as I can remember. Watching
Wow.
the State of the Union addresses and running up and down the stairs to give us updates on people. And I'm like, I don't even know who they are. And he's like, I'll explain later. It just was a mess, my son. But so he had his first time voting, and I asked him, I said, do you vote? Do you check all of them boxes?
Oh,
He
yeah.
said, not all of them. He said, but I've always done my research on the prosecution. He said, he said, anybody that's in
Just
power
shows you.
that's going to affect your life in any way
Wow.
or could affect your life, he said, you better do some
He's
research.
too good, isn't he, Lainey?
Yeah, I
Very,
didn't know.
very grown up, very just, he's on the ball.
Yep. And I said, Boo, I didn't know. And he's like, absolutely. He said, anybody, you should
What?
always, he said, now when they're talking about chief of
Right.
police and things like that, he said, that's a little bit different. But he said, anybody in the judicial system, anybody that's over any of our laws, anything like that, that directly affects you either now or in the future, he said, you need to do your homework. I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
because you
didn't
said,
know.
didn't you? You never ever give that a thought.
No, never. Just left it empty. Didn't even click it,
Well, there you
because
go.
I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I do my research on, Congress and on the president and stuff like that, and I vote the least of two evils, if you must say, and hopefully hold them to it. But the other stuff, I never thought to even worry with it. Oh, from now on, I bet your ass
God,
I will
I
be
was
always looking
on.
at our prosecution team. Always. Mayor. He's like, you better be voting in the mayor. I was like, I'm not voting in the mayor. He's like, you better be.
I
Oh
don't see
gosh.
it. All stuff like that. Can't be bothered with it. Now it makes me think.
Jeff says, look closely when one of Xana's family members says Xana was beautiful inside and out. BK does a big eyes nod. I couldn't help but wonder if he was thinking yes, because he had seen her insides.
Yeah,
What
ouch.
a thought!
Yeah. I bet you he was sitting there dying to say what he did and let them know, in a smug way. I bet you.
Isn't it amazing when you get other brains together and the things that they think of that you don't?
Yeah.
God, because I never thought of that. That is just a totally horrific thought. April says, we heard more from Dylan's statement too, like the scream and Xana running down the stairs to her room. Right.
Oh.
What were his thoughts on BK? Oh, he just because right now his minor is still in psychology. So
Yeah.
his major is in something else, and his minor is in psychology. And he absolutely said that he is a psychopath. He said, I tend just from what I've read about him and the way that he acts. He said, I absolutely believe he killed somebody else
Yeah,
before
I
this.
think
He
that
said he
woman.
was
I was
too,
thinking that woman, the neighbour.
yeah. He said he was too, he said even though he made the big time mistakes, he said there wasn't enough little mistakes. It was too clean.
Yeah.
It was too easy. It was, he said, and that house was too risky. And he
Did
said,
he say anything about Olivia's speech? Did he say anything about that?
oh, he said she killed it. He loved it. He loved
Yeah.
it, and he loved that one, and he really did love Kaylee's brothers.
Yeah.
That he gave outside the courthouse. He said, I absolutely
Oh, was
loved
it
it. He said,
Neda?
oh, you got to go listen to it. He
Kaylee's
reads,
brother?
Kaylee's brother
Oh.
is Stephen. Let's see if we could bring it up. I'll bet you.
Oh,
See if
yeah,
you
I
could
didn't
bring
see
it up,
that.
Maggie.
Okay.
Just
I'm
type
looking
in
now.
Stephen Goncalves speech after court yesterday. If you haven't heard it, it's so good. It's totally, and I think that's why he did not, remember, because in court, they called his name. Olivia came out and said, Stephen has decided to decline. So I'm going to go next. And so outside of court, when it was all said and done, and the Goncalveses walked up to the podium or up to the microphones to talk, Stephen was the last one to talk, and it was because someone asked him why he did not go ahead and give his victim impact statement in court. And they asked him if he would mind reading what they would have heard. And then I asked Baby Child, was like, well, why didn't he give it? And he said, listen to it. You'll understand why he didn't give it in court. And it's because he tore the prosecution a new one. He gave facts. And I think that he knew, well, this is what Baby Child said, that it was going to turn the other way. It was going to take the focus. He said that he thought it would take the focus off of the monster and put it on the prosecution. And he figured he didn't want that, which I feel like was the right thing to do. If Maggie can find it, that will be great. Let me look and see if I can find it, and I can tell you exactly where to go and how to get there.
Okay, I've got it, Lee.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, let's listen to that. Have you guys heard it yet? It's so good. The whole family speaks so well, I think. All right, I will put that on big for you there.
Okay, I'll put it on big. There you go.
There you go.
Okay?
Yep, looks great.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. Yeah, my name's Stephen Gonzalez. I'm Kaylee's older brother. She was my little sister, my friend, the middle child in the heart of our family. There are no words that can fully describe her spirit, but if you knew her, you knew joy, you knew light, you knew someone who made everything better just by being in the room. My statement was largely grounded in one goal, and that was to do everything for anyone who listens to this and has to go through something similar, to not have to endure what we had. My family's fought tirelessly, not just for answers, but for accountability. We've stood in front of cameras, behind closed doors, and across from people who didn't want us to speak, but we did, and we won't stop now. Across nearly every murder case prosecuted by Bill Thompson, including the killing of University of Idaho football player Eric McMillan, there is a clear and troubling pattern. Families are left feeling unheard, justice is negotiated down through plea deals, and the public is left with unanswered questions. In the McMillan case, charges were reduced from first-degree to second-degree murder, prompting confusion and outrage from the victim's family and community. The same pattern is emerged in the Silas Parks and John Lee cases, both of which prosecuted by Bill Thompson, where capital-eligible crimes were resolved through plea agreements, sidestepping trials and diminishing public accountability. The most egregious of these crimes was the brutal killing of Whitney Parks, a young pregnant woman whose life was taken by her husband, Silas Parks, during a violent domestic assault. Whitney was only 22 years old Whitney was beaten and strangled in her own home, an act of cruelty that not only ended her life, but also the life of her unborn child. And yet, despite the devastating nature of this crime, Bill Thompson reduced the charges from murder to voluntary manslaughter, ultimately securing a sentence that allowed Parks the possibility of parole after just 5 years. There was no trial, no full accounting of what Whitney endured, no acknowledgement in the legal outcomes of the child she was carrying. For Whitney's family, and for anyone who believes that justice system should speak forcefully for victims, this wasn't justice. It was a deal, and it was like so many others under Thompson's watch. It prioritized expedience over accountability. Now, almost predictably, we find ourselves reliving that pattern in the current case. Despite the magnitude and brutality of the crime, the prosecution chose to accept a plea deal behind closed doors, without trial, without ever consulting our family in any meaningful way. In fact, we learned from the plea deal that had been finalized from an email from the prosecution team. Not in person, not with warning, not with respect. That moment underscored what we feared all along, and that this case was following the same well-worn path toward expedience over justice. Sentencing once again fails to reflect the severity of the act, and the emotional fallout has landed again on the shoulders of the victims' families, who have been left out, unheard, and grieving not just a horrific loss, but a system that continues to bypass them. The through line is undeniable. Whether it's 2004 or 2025, this prosecutional, is that a word? Sorry. Prosecutional approach has consistently abandoned the very approach it is, or the very people it is supposed to protect. The trend you'll notice from Thompson's prosecuted crimes are the following: plea bargains avoiding capital punishment, charge reductions, sentences that misalign with the gravity of the crime, lack of trial due to plea bargains. These aren't just failures in process, they're failures that have real consequences for real people. After reviewing Bill Thompson's history, it's clear our family was never given a fair chance at justice. But this isn't just about a prosecutor's record. It's about Kaylee. It's about my sister. She's not just one of the Idaho Four. She was a daughter, a sister, a best friend, and the light in every room she walked into. When the prosecution followed the same path we've seen before, closed doors, limited input, and a plea deal handed down without our voice, it became painfully clear that Kaylee was being treated just like another case. But she wasn't. She was everything to us, and our pain has only deepened, knowing that the system didn't fight for her the way she deserved. I'll leave everyone with this. There's 1,000 things I wish I could say to Kaylee, but today I'll just say this. I will always carry her with me for the rest of my life, and I will never stop being her brother. Thank you.
Now that the gag order is lifted, is there anything that you learned over the last 2.5 years?
Victims' families now filtering out of court and able to address members of the media.
What says you, Max?
Oh,
That's your first time
hang on.
hearing that?
Oh my God. Well, that just tells you exactly what they think of Thompson, doesn't it? And I'm glad he brought them plea deals up, because something needs to be sorted with them, Lee.
And that's what brought my son and I to talk about, voting for your prosecutor.
Shocking.
He said, people in places like that, they get voted in by popularity, right? You've got all these, you grew up in this town, everybody knows you, you're a likable kind of guy. You know, we're just going to vote you in because you're our buddy. But what are his principles? What if it was you, who your family member was sitting on the other side of him, and he's supposed to do everything he can to bring justice to your family, and he goes for a plea deal? I think in the end, it was much more effective that he read that outside the courtroom after everything was said and done.
I agree.
He was not basically telling the prosecution team, the monster may be sentenced and we have figured him out, but we've also figured you out. And thank you for giving injustice.
He's exposed him as well.
Yes, expose the injustices to victims and their families his whole career. So that's what I have to say about that.
Shows you.
You can look up different people that have come out. The Goncalveses did directly come out of the courtroom, stood before all of uh, the media there and did give statements. I did not see anything Olivia had said, because I think Olivia maybe had said everything she needed to say to Brian Inton on his channel right before sentencing. If you haven't seen that, sub up to Brian Inton. He has his own YouTube channel now where he gives exclusives into stuff that you may not you may get to see it first on his channel rather than Law and Crime and the other networks that he works for, Court TV and such. One thing that Stephen did say that Olivia had corroborated before this hearing even took place was the fact that when Bill Thompson stood up and he gave his final speech in the courtroom prior to the judge sentencing the monster, he said that his team did in fact meet with every family member, representative of every family member personally. While that may be true, what the Goncalves family has said twice now, 3 times actually, it came out of Stephen Christie's mouth, it just came out of Stephen's mouth, and Olivia also said it, was that they knew, yes, the prosecution told them that there was a plea deal on the table. But what they didn't know was how quickly it was to be filed. And they had come together as a family and decided, this is what we want. This is what we want. Let's put it before them to have them put it in the plea deal. If he doesn't agree to it, then all bets are off. That's our opinion on this. When they submitted to Thompson's, and they submitted it through email, Thompson's office, that they would like a motive. They would like him to speak on why that house, why those people, and they wanted to know where the knife was. They had their response back from Thompson's office via email was it had already been submitted to the court and it cannot be undone. So that is what they're talking about. That is it. Lizzo, I too am so glad that he brought the plea deals up. I feel like that is much more poignant.
Me too.
That he did it after court, because, you know, although Thompson's going to go away, you guys, he's going into retirement. You notice that even the chief of police has retired. Jeff H said, the other thing that gives Brian a Woody is to play the game. I know something you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, Jeff. Exactly. Hit the nail on the head. Yeah. And you know what Barbara Smith said? She watched Nancy. I haven't watched Nancy yet. Have you?
I have not seen Nancy yet. No, there's so much to do. So much to do. I can't believe we haven't watched Nancy. I just can't believe it. I hate to admit it, but I always just look at their name and pick the one that I like best. Well, you know what, Miss Barbara? Do not feel bad about that. Even I don't even click a box. I never cared. I never knew I needed to care. I never knew I needed to care.
Yeah, I said about them plea deals to Leanie, Liz. I said, I can't get over the way you see. We don't do that here. The plea deals in that way, do we? I can't get over it. I think it's a cop house. It's just a cop house. Them plea deals, I think something needs to change. Makes it too easy for them.
Yeah. You only watched Nancy and Ashley last night. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to.
Oh, I haven't.
I don't know who Chuck Mangione
I haven't got a clue.
Was, but God bless his family. I'm not trying to make light of that at all, but I just don't know.
I don't know who it is.
It was after, right, April, right? It was after they agreed to the plea.
Yeah, April,
Um,
awful and plea deals.
yeah, I mean, for months to come, there's so much to talk about in this. There's so much that's gonna be revealed. I don't know. I have to talk to Maggie,
Also,
and
his mum was there with the sister, and
yes,
somebody took a picture of the sister, and my God, she's got the same eyes.
yes. If you have not seen
She's
that
got the same.
picture, I put up 2 community posts yesterday. When that picture came out, that is one of the things that I put up on our community post.
Oh,
Take a
did
look
she?
at it, you guys. Yeah, you guys
Oh,
check out the community post. I'm not just doing it to do it. I really would like feedback on those. That gives me a direction that you guys may want to see from the channel or whatever. So it's just a way of communication as well. The
mm.
picture is there. Um, the eyes are the same. They're
Yeah,
oh,
they
it's
are. They
amazing.
definitely are. Not saying she's the same. It
No,
wasn't
but
that
it's
woman, that auntie. What did you think of the auntie? The way she said to him, I thought, well, that's the way it's making him feel like he's okay to talk. The way she said, if you get back in the future and you feel like you want to talk, and I'll talk to you. I forgive you, and I'm not going to pass judgment. I thought, wow. For her to say that, now, was there a method in her madness? Was she saying that from her heart? Did she really mean? Because I know some people can be like that. I could be soft like that, if I'm being honest. But was there a method in her madness that she thought, let him think, he's got someone to fall back on in the future, maybe years and years to come. I mean, she's older than him, how long she's going to be here, but it's to give him a false sense of security that he could maybe speak to her. What do you think on that, Lig? What do you think in chat?
there are people in this world that are Mother Teresa's, and
Absolutely.
I believe that my spirit, my heart felt that she was being sincere.
Genuine. Yeah,
Um,
I do too.
I sometimes am envious with people that can are able to feel that way, and be able to look at people as everybody, no matter the deed, as God's children, and they all need help, and I will help them. And I have a degree of that when it comes to my bonus kids and who I take into my home. But I don't think I would be able to say that to the monster right now, if ever, because I don't feel the need that I could reach out to any person, from
Yeah.
him all the way back to whoever, that I would want to sit in a room with and coddle. No, I don't have that kind of compassion, but I do believe that there are people that have that kind of compassion, and I felt like she was being sincere in that, and I think that that's a gift. They're gifts of the Spirit. The Bible talks about the gifts of the Spirit, and not all of us have the same gifts of the Spirit. I don't think not one of us have all of the gifts of the Spirit, but one of the gifts of the Spirit was absolutely what she showed him in court, and that's why it takes all of us to make a whole.
And
Because
to have
where
said
I'm,
that in front
yeah,
of people whose children have been mutilated basically by
yeah,
him
yeah,
is brave in
I
itself.
yeah, I think it takes all of us to make the world go round, and where I'm weak, you're strong, kind of thing, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, while she would be the one coddling him and saying, God forgives you, I'm the one punching him in the face saying, fuck you, go to hell. You know what I mean?
Can
So,
I bring that picture up early if I go
oh,
and get it?
absolutely. You don't have
Because I
to, you
haven't
do
seen
not,
it. Let me have a look. I'll
uh,
bring it now. I'll go and get it.
and
I'll
the
have to
thing
turn my
about the
sound.
picture is, for me, and I know this woman is just as much of a victim right now, I guess, kind of, to a crime as anybody else is. This was her blood brother. This is someone she grew up with, someone she knew. Whether she was the one that turned him in or not, we don't know. I think it will come out. eventually. But I can't help looking at her and thinking about him. And I'm just going to say it. I would not, if this was my brother, I would not want anybody to look at me and say, you look just like him. I think I'd be calling Maggie and calling all my good friends and saying, look, we got to change my face. I cannot go my whole life looking like this monster that this person. I can't have people looking at me reminded of 4 murders that took place. So for me, even though I know that she's in some sort of way a victim to all of his as well, I couldn't help but think there's no way I could even be friends with her. There's no way I'd be scared of her because all I see is his face. You know what I mean? Could you imagine? Let's go have drinks, girlfriend. And then you're walking to your car late at night with her. You look over and all you see is the monster's face. No, not me. So that's just me. That's what I think. I found it strange saying she would listen to him because, is it because they wanted to know what happened? It could be. I mean, maybe she is just playing devil's advocate to get out of him what she wants. To get out of him, what she wants. But I did listen to Anjanette Levy, who was also in the courtroom, and she was actually sitting behind the monsters. Look at that. Could you imagine being friends? You're hanging out with her and chilling, having a drink, dinner, and you guys, it's 11 o'clock at night, time to leave. Everybody's getting in their cars, and she's the one walking next to you. And you look over, and you're like, holy fuck! I mean, Angel there has not been given a reason as to why the dad was not present. That is her mother. That is the monster's mother right behind her. And of course, we all know Ann Taylor by now, looking so sad, looking so sad for the families.
Would you? Sorry, Lee. Would you, as a mother of the monster, feel you had to reach out to them families in some way? I would have had to. If I was anyway here tortured by what my son had done, I would have had to have wrote each and every one of them a letter. I would have. I'd have had to speak in the court. It's been shaken to pieces, but I would feel I have to give them what's in my heart. I'd have to. It's just I can't understand it. I couldn't understand it. Now that face there, and a picture can catch just but that's just like a not bothered face to me.
She almost had the same smirk too, right? I think they've got the same mouth with that same kind of clench.
Same,
and Mama's got it too. But I will
say she's got her glasses on.
There's just absolutely no way that I could have gone. My son, that I carried and nurtured all these years, have walked into court looking like that. I would be a hot mess. I'd be looking like as bad as Dylan did. No offense to Dylan, but God love her. And there's no way to look like that. But I listened to Anjanette. I listened to Anjanette Levy, who does the Law and Crime, right? And she was sitting behind these two, and she said she couldn't see their faces. She saw a little bit of the side face, and she said she did not see them shed a tear. She said she's not calling them out. She believes them to be victims as well. That the only time she saw any real
but not if they're not showing any sadness. I wouldn't call them. I would just think they're just
I would be a wreck.
In him. They're believing in him. They're believing in. They probably think it's down to whatever he's got wrong with him. It's just all down to that. But still, what them kids went through, and what seeing them families breaking down in front of you cannot bring you to the tear, or even to look over with a look of, oh my God, well, some sort of reaction rather than that.
Yeah, Anjanette Levy
cut from the same cloth.
Anjanette Levy did say that the only time she saw some kind of emotion, but she wasn't sure of what the emotion was other than kind of a thank you, was when that aunt was speaking and offered the monster a hand to hold. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
she'll come and she'll listen to him. She said you kind of felt from then that they were being like, oh, someone's actually being kind of nice to us or whatever. But she said, other than that, she said, I can't say if they had shed a tear or not shed a tear. She said, but it definitely was not what the victims' families.
Well, I also read that the sister was, I think it was Olivia's speech that she saw, so went down in a chair and Olivia sat up, built up straight. She went up with defiance, and the monster's sister sort of slid down in a chair.
That would be
One
hard to
thing, that's
listen
what I
to.
read.
Yeah. And let me read this really quick because let me jump in chat really quick. There's some important things I want to capture here. I would definitely feel the need to reach out to other families if I was Brian's mom. Imagine something comes out of your body that ends
Yeah.
up killing the things that came out of their bodies. Right.
Mhm.
Sean says, I always told my kids if they ended up in prison, I will not visit them there or show up to the court case trials. April says, has KB made any phone calls to family since arrest? We don't. I had heard from Brian Enton that for at least a couple weeks he won't be allowed to because he's going through the system. He's going to get his head shaved. He'll get a delousing, which is why they shave their heads, you guys. He'll get all this stuff will be done, and then he'll be able to resume calls. I'm hoping the calls to his family, because of course, over the last some odd years, he has had some phone calls with his families, and I'm hoping those will be released and we will be showing them. Jeff asks, do you think the monster's family ever feared him and were relieved when he left to go across the country? Relieved for
wouldn't
their
know, would
own
you?
personal safety.
Mm.
I have to say, it's odd to me. Not odd, but wouldn't they feel that way since before he ever made his way back to Pennsylvania, the
They've
sisters
seen sides of him.
the sisters supposedly were like, wait, that's very possibly our brother, because I have a brother. And if I'd have heard something happening in his town where he's at, the last person I would think of is my brother, because I know my brother.
Exactly.
And he's
Yeah.
just a humble, sweet man,
So he's obviously
your
showed them a
family.
side. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You have at least
He
the
made
sisters.
statements, weird
At least the
statements and
sisters.
stuff.
But I still think
How
that
do you know? He never said, I wish I had been Bunty. And they've looked at him in horror as if to say, oh my God, what are you saying? And he's laughed it off. Or you just don't know, do you, what he said? Weirdo.
yeah, I do think that that they will come out and we will definitely, pardon me, hear from them. But I cannot wait for. Listen, I will always say, and I think if we do get jail calls, that the monster was mommy and daddy's baby. But I think he had a love-hate relationship with his sisters and his mother. There is no way
Wonder
that
why
this
his
man
dad-
hated every woman except for his mother and his sisters. Come on. That started at home.
Wonder why his dad didn't come. Do you think his dad was just like, I'm not going near him, I'm not having nothing to do? Do you think he's cut off?
I think
Or
he was just daddy's best friend. Remember, his dad
he was
is the one
devastated?
that got him invited to the pool
Which you
party.
understand. He was devastated. It's his child.
Yeah,
But,
and his dad had high hopes for him,
Yeah.
like when he first moved into that apartment, his dad basically was the one that arranged for him to go to the pool party via introducing him to the neighbor and different things. His dad always was trying to get him involved with people and things. So I think maybe his sisters were like, Dad, maybe, I don't know. This is just a thought. His whole life were like, Dad, something's really wrong with him. And his dad was out to prove that there was nothing wrong with
Yeah.
this boy.
Yeah.
And he was a boy. He was a boy's boy. He was a guy. And he had to finally face the fact that his boy was not a man and not a guy. In fact, he's not even human. That has to be devastating.
Yeah.
Or they're
2000
relieved to
hours
be
to his
free of
mum's
him.
jail calls. Wow.
Oh, I can't wait, Nina. I can't wait. Hold on. Lizzo says, or they're relieved to be free of him. I think at least the sisters are.
Yeah.
I have to believe that he, besides just stealing a cell phone from one of his sisters, that there was some real shit that went down in their house. There has to. There has to. He hates women too much. He hates them. He hates them.
But look what Nina says on that one there. He had a hard time respecting his dad. He saw him as weak. Why is that? Because he was nice to his wife or
No,
his
you know
daughter?
what?
He
That
hates
doesn't
his women.
that doesn't surprise me. The monster thought he was better than everybody. The monster thought he was smarter than everybody. I kind of got the feeling that Dad was the go-between Mama and the sisters. I kind of got that feeling. So he was whooped by Brian. And like I said, I think he wanted him just to be the all-American son, and he's having to accept that his girls were probably right the whole time. And I think that he abused the whole house. I just have to believe that.
Yeah, but they had a terrible time with him.
Oh, Jeff, that's perfect. That's that would have been the topping on the cake.
Yeah.
Jeff said, I wish Olivia would have called him a virgin in the courtroom. I bet that would have set him off enough to get him talking. That would have been amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Nina says, it's okay. I think they were glad to see him go away. Melissa stated that she used to come up with reasons not to go home because of the chaos.
Oh.
Not surprised. It just does not surprise me. Sean says that he hated females. No excuses. Nina says he has a hard time respecting his dad, though. Saw him this week. Yes. I think the monster was only 16 when his sister was in that knife slasher movie called 2 Days Back. Do you think that had an impact on Brian?
I think he questioned a load. How to make you feel playing that part? What was it like? Oh, because I'm thinking as deep as him now.
I mean, that's a good question. That's a damn good question. It'd be a damn good thing if one or both of these girls would corroborate and write a book together, and just to find out that if his behaviors became more violent after that movie, maybe that would be even more telltale. You know, maybe before the movie, it was just more of a mental game he was playing with them. You know what I mean? Like, shit. But then after he saw it in that movie and his sister was willing to play in a movie like that, he saw her as a different being. So maybe it got even more mental and maybe physical. Not so much that he was hurting his sisters physically, but just mentally really fucking with them. I don't know. That's a good question. Jeff says, I think when the monster was younger, he was fat and creepy and was able to do something about the fat. Yep, but just couldn't do nothing about the creepy. Nina says, I think his dad don't do something stupid. When calling the police about the cell phone, he had a physical altercation. Yeah, something made him have to do that. Something made him have to. I think other things had been done that he probably should have called the police for, and something.
What was that, Lee?
What was what?
He told his dad, don't do something stupid. when calling the police about cell phone. What's that? When did he phone the police?
So he stole one of his sister's cell phones, I think, to sell for Nina
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
okay.
it drug money? And he told his dad, "Don't do something stupid." And then his dad called the police and possibly had a physical altercation. It'll just be interesting. It would be very, very interesting. Aussie True Crime says, gotta run. It's school time. Love you all. Love you too, Aussie. Good to
My
see you. Thank you for
bedtime,
being
Oz.
here.
Bye, Gail. Have a good day.
Yep. Well, we are deep dive into criminal decision making. In one of those reports, it states that what his main interest was. We're going to find out.
Do you think he liked to get into all that? That's what he wanted to do, so he could read about cases and all the grisly details that they would have access to. That he just thought, because it must have been on his mind all the time, because that's the way his mind worked. He wanted to know everything, how it felt, how it looked to be there, just everything.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
he
would have
definitely had an
loved doing
interest
the
like that.
perfect job. Yeah.
And I also think in the beginning, maybe he was interested in it to figure himself out. And then it
Yeah.
became an obsession. It became an obsession. That's what I think. Sean says he was jealous of
Yeah.
the attention he wasn't getting from his mom and his sisters were. Also, he probably beat his ass and the girls never got disciplined. That could be very
Mhm.
true. Check Pennsylvania and Monroe County. No reports yet. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So they're going to come out. They'll come out. They'll release them. Which made him into a real life Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. Possibly. Possibly. I get the I just get the sense that he never got his ass beat. I just do. I think they were scared of him.
April says, no one asked to clarify if he asked if anyone else was arrested.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
And remember, that's just what somebody said that a police officer
He was
had
just
said,
throwing a
right?
little red herring in there. He was just making them think. Yeah, he knew.
Exactly.
He was taking the scent off himself,
Yeah.
making it
Yeah.
seem like there was someone else involved.
And if he did study, people, which we know he did, that were serial killers and such, that's not a new line. He didn't come up with that line by himself. Other criminals have said that many times, and not even just serial killers themselves.
Yeah.
He didn't come up with that line on his own. That's something that quite a few will say. No, spend the night company at Koberger's house in childhood. Weird. Yeah, what were they hiding? What didn't they want
Probably
anybody
him.
to know?
He would have acted too weird with the kids staying. Would have been doing weird things like waking up, standing over them of a night when he's asleep.
Oh my God.
Wondered if he ever did that. Walked into the sisters' rooms or the mum and dad's, and he woke up and he was
Oh
just
my
standing
God, that's
watching them.
such a terrible thought. Terrible.
Standing there, just imagine turning over and he's stood there with them eyes.
Just
and you
staring at
can't-
him.
Your eyes are just making out what it is. And then he's just staring at them, thinking what he's, about it. How far back would you go that he started thinking about killing someone?
I just don't think.
Do you think
I
he's
mean-
always, from as long as he's been, I'd say his teens, he started really thinking about it, and then he got fixated on Bundy, and he knew then it was what he wanted to do.
I don't think people
That was his
are.
call, and he wanted it.
I
He
think
didn't care about going to prison.
Yeah, I don't think that. I just don't think people develop this. I think they are either born with something missing, and because they're born with that missing part of the brain that doesn't work, they just keep on with the same interests, right? And then things pique their interest towards becoming that person even more and more. And because they already have some mental illness like sociopaths and psychopaths and things like this, their interests are more and more towards that. And then you have a mother who's basically writing an op-ed for Bundy. I mean, something was already in that house that was definitely shaping him. Shaping him. And I want to say
Especially the
something
mother.
about what
Mhm.
Nina is. I want to say something that Nina's saying. Nina was talking about how no kids were ever allowed to stay the night at his house, not allowed inside if kids came over to play. Why the religion resentment? Listen, you're one of two parents unless something bad's going on in your house. You're the type of parent like me that your kids are not allowed to stay the night with people because you just don't trust anybody, right? But tell all your friends to come over here. We're a fun group.
Mhm.
So you're the house that's hosting everybody at all times, right? That's what my house was. I didn't want my kids going anywhere. I didn't trust anybody with my children. I was scared. But that didn't stop my kids from having people over, God, all the time to where they were living with us, right? So you're one of those two parents where you either allow your kids to go, you trust those people, but you're not the hosting kind of mama. So you allow them to go stay the night with someone you trust, or you become the mama that doesn't trust anybody else. So you become the hosting parent. If somebody is neither of those, I tend to believe something is off within the family. You can't trust out, you can't trust in, right? Nobody can know, and what happens in this house stays in this house. It's like a scary movie.
Mm.
Weird. I think weird.
A serial killer is someone who fixates on their thoughts of how they're going to pull it off and how they can get away to do more murders. Oh, you just, I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like he's killed before. I do, and I think Buddy plays a big part in my mind with that Koberger. He was visiting too often, and to go from not doing anything to slaughtering 4 people. Sean, Mount Schuxter is a mountain in Washington, close to a park where Bundy killed 2 girls. The mural on that mountain on Koberger's basement wall. You're joking. Oh my God. See, he knew where he was going for a long
There's
time.
just more. He knew. A
Oh
serial
my
killer is a
God.
deep thinker. I will agree with
Oh
that.
yeah.
They're obsessive thinkers. Jeff says, being that the monster thought he was smarter than everyone else, I imagine it crossed his mind that these criminals he talked to that got caught made mistakes he would never make. Agreed.
Yeah. Do you think that
100%.
girl he followed to the car? Do you think he was thinking about it then?
You know, it's a big wonder, right? Like, what was his thoughts
What was he going to
following
do?
that
What was
female
he
to
going
that
to do?
car?
Yeah.
What
was he
made him?
following her for? What was his aim? What was, you
Yeah,
know?
was it? Did he have? Maybe because maybe
Does
his
he have a knife on him then?
maybe he just thought I don't have this planned out well enough, so he walked away, you know. But I don't know. I'm
Was
really.
she some type of higher person? Can you remember who she was?
Didn't she?
Because the
She
girl
had
that
made.
wanted to know him, he wasn't interested in.
I think that girl that he followed to the car actually made a complaint on him.
Yes,
Is
she
that
did.
correct?
Yeah, she
Okay.
did make a complaint.
And maybe he just thought he could
She
intimidate
told the
her.
university, didn't she? Because there've been numerous complaints on him. The
Yeah.
things he could say and was doing.
Maybe he just thought, following her to the car would be an intimidation. Like, you're not, I'm unbothered.
We're asking the girl on Tinder what do you think would be the most painful, most horrific or painful death? And she said being stabbed. Oh my God! See, he's been thinking it out for ages, and he wanted to do it the most painful way that a woman thought. That's sick, innit? Hey,
It is.
he's been thinking of this, and it seems like he was more intent of getting it right, the pain, the torture, the fear, more than being sloppy and leaving the sheep. He thought more about the feeling he wanted to give them.
April says, I wonder about the dog that got skinned just before the murders. Maggie,
That's
what was the
little
dog's
Buddy.
name?
Buddy.
Buddy. Okay, so we were going to cover that, but the more I dug into it, the more it was a blown up thing that the internet did. The dog was actually proven to have been not so much skinned, but eaten by another animal. Yeah, because we were going to cover it, and then I started digging deep, and I ended up finding it. So that was debunked that he would have had anything to do with it. It wasn't done by a human. That's what they said, that dog was not done by a human. Lizzo said, it's so odd. My kids always had friends in. That way I knew where they were, right, and you knew they were safe. That's right, Lizzo. You're always one parent or the other, and neither one of them are wrong. But to have nobody come into your house and your kids not staying the night anywhere else, something's going on.
Wasn't I'm just reading there, Nina, you know, when he walked up the mountain and he spoke, it was in the dark, and he spoke to them, that group of people, and acted like he'd known them dead well, and he only met them at the pool party, and he was going up the mountain where it was dark. He says it was dark, and he spotted them. Was that the same place where Bundy had killed? I'm sure someone had said it, where he'd murdered the girls. Wasn't it up there? And that's where he was walking.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I do know it was getting dark, so it was, that's why they were coming down off of the hiking trail.
Look that up.
Okay. And he did recognize the guy from the pool party, and the guy said that he was talking to him like they were buddies, best friends, and they were kind of put off by that, and they couldn't understand why he was going up the trail when it was getting dark. When they were coming down. So it was a popular hiking trail. And so I don't know if Bundy actually was up in there. I'm not sure. Maggie will find that out for us. Jeff says, I bet his regular habit of driving around at night was actually playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo, choosing which house to target. Could be. And like I said in the beginning of this, that house, if you look at aerial view, drone coverage, the house that's kind of up higher, on that little hill there, it was built into that little bank, and it was set kind of higher, as high as what, two-story apartments. It was obnoxiously viewable. It was obnoxiously, like, just stood out, right? It was like a beacon on a hill. And then you find out, oh, lots of parties. And then you find out, oh, it's just women that live there. And then you find out, oh, they're not locking doors. People come and go as they wish. And then you find out, oh, they're not even, really shutting their blinds. Oh, easy peasy for. And the saddest thing is, you guys, for most places, for most of our college campuses, and the surrounding areas where undergraduates end up renting homes like this one, they're still not going to be locking the doors. Because sadly, they're so young and they don't think like we think. You know what I mean? Like, we're all older. We've raised our children. We're aware. Or we try to be aware. And we're all in this true crime thing where we're We're invested in this. And so we have learned to surround ourselves with, just being aware of what all is around you, who's around you. How many times have you seen that person walk past you? These kids are just kids, just like we were. And it's very, very scary. But I feel like that house, if there was going to be a monster nearby that was looking to do something, that house was just like a beacon on the hill for them, for anybody who was going to commit these types of murders. Let me know what you think about that, Jen. Nina says, I think he was already stalking the girl at the pool party. She was part of the hiking group. He ran upon the hiking group that Sunday as they were coming down. That's correct. That's correct. And then the girl didn't even really remember him. She was interviewed, right? Sean says the most people in the world, most dangerous people in the world are the quiet ones. Yes, I have to agree with that. You have to be careful of the quiet people. Because us loudmouths, we're just going to give it to you. You know exactly what's. Listen, a quiet person is going to get you from behind. A loudmouth is going to come straight on at you. We come like Nina's warning label, right? I mean, I feel like it should come with the trigger warning at all times, because I will tell you, when I see you, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And I mean it. I mean, I may get my ass kicked too, but you're not going to look pretty in the ambulance either. I mean, we're going to go. Nina says, Jeff, the black heart picture, can you clean that pic up and see underneath the heart? Yes, Jeff, can you please do that for us? Now, I did hear that the heart was, that he drew the heart to give to one of the people on his defense team. But I want to know what is all. It's kind of colorful all around it. If you don't know what heart Nina's talking about, there is a picture on our community page. I also dropped that there and wanted some thoughts on it. But it would be so good if you could clean that up a little bit and let us know what you think is around the heart and why the black heart. Does it mean, even though you guys know, this is what I took it to mean. You guys all know my deepest, darkest secrets, my deep black heart, because sometimes I say I've got one, right? People say through my dead hands you'll get it. I always say past my black heart you're going to get it. But that's in joking. But I think, I could be wrong, but I think it means you guys know my deepest, darkest secrets here. You know I carry a black heart, meaning evil. And yet you still defended me and did your very best to do what you could. That's what I took it to mean. I keep my granddaughter all the time. I think she thinks I'm a fanatic. That's okay, Miss Barbara. You go ahead and be a fanatic. Listen, you have the greatest storytellers. Sit down and listen to your stories. And she's still young. They're all still so young. I know I tell baby child all the time, please lock your door, please, please, please. And we're just mothering them. Nina says, I was told it had writing on the back of it. I did not know that. Amanda closed Instagram, has artwork on it. Well, is she the one that did it? Did she do it and hand it to him?
Did you see the way Ann Taylor looked at him, after what? I'm trying to think who was speaking, and it was over, and she looked at him. When you put your mouth, your lips sort of inside, when you're sort of looking at someone with a sorry look. She looked at him. You have to go back and look. Like, she looked at him as if to go. Oh. She never said it, but her face said it. She looked at him as if to say, "Are you all right?" After that, it was. I don't know whether it was Steve Goncalves, or the other one who was pointing at him and having a go at him, saying, "Give me 5 minutes with you in the woods." Do you know? I think it was that one. And she was sort of looking at us as if she knew a different person and was like, oh, he's not like that, but we can't say anything. That's how she looked.
Yeah, I
Like
will
she was,
never forgive Ann Taylor for trying to bring up, for knowing what this monster had
yeah,
done,
done.
and still trying to get the death penalty taken off the table. She was willing
Does he
to
admit to
commit
them, Lee?
what?
Does he admit to them that
Yeah,
he's
they
done it?
admit to him. Yeah, yeah. There are
Will they know
very
all the
few,
details?
maybe not all of it. Maybe not all of
Or
it. He doesn't have,
some?
and he doesn't even really have to tell them, but there are some. I watched some lawyers talking one time way before this, and they said there are very few lawyers that will take on a case without really getting the truth from their client. And they demand the truth, or they're like, we're walking away, you got
Yeah,
nothing.
just be honest with me, yeah.
And I'll
My
defend you
God.
for everything you're
That
worth. So
made me
yes,
worse. How would
I
you do
do
it?
believe that she knew that he did it. She may not know all the details. I don't know, but she still was willing to throw 4 innocent people under the bus to get the death penalty taken off, to create doubt. And the judge saw right through that and said, bullshit. You have nothing to corroborate that. You have no factual evidence that any of these people were involved. You're not using it. And that's when they went to William Thompson and said, is there any chance of a plea deal here? Because that was her last
Yeah.
part. It's all she had. And
Yeah.
I will never forget that. I will never forgive that. Never, ever. I understand. People say it all the time. Listen, somebody's got to defend these people. It's part of our Constitution. It's part of our judicial system. People need a job. I get that. Okay, lovely and wonderful. But you don't do it by using innocent people. You don't, if you cannot defend them in a great way, sorry, they fucked up. They did a crime. Your person's going to jail. You're still getting paid, but you do not accuse innocent people to get your way. And that's how far she was willing to go. I'm sorry. No conscience.
Yeah.
And the bitch is a multimillionaire today.
Yeah.
A multimillionaire.
Oh,
Up until just a week or two ago, $1.5 million Ann Taylor has made on this case. Her assistant attorney in this case, number 2, was getting $150 an hour. Ann Taylor was getting $200 an hour. So up until a couple of weeks ago, she earned $750,000 for this fucking case. Y'all don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Get us started, guys. Don't get us started. Yeah, it'll be blue in a minute. Well, Lee, can I take the opportunity now to drop down?
Yes.
My eyes are stinging now. So, thanks for everyone coming in, and it's been a really good live. I've enjoyed it and learning new things. It's just unbelievable. It just gets worse and you don't think it can. And we're still wondering, we're still left wondering, still all trying to work things out, and we're never going to, I don't think, unless there's going to be more things released where we're trying to put the pieces together. But it's a hard one, isn't it? It's really hard. It is. Anyway, Lee, thanks very much. I've enjoyed it, girl, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Maggie.
God bless
It was
to
good seeing you.
everyone. Have a
Sweet
good
dreams.
day with your day, and if it's a nice, good night. Thanks very. Oh, I hope so, Lee. Good night and God bless to everyone. Love you all. Bye, Lee. Love
Love you,
ya.
Max.
Bye bye.
Love you. It is disgusting. April says, did she drag it out for the money? I absolutely believe she dragged it out for the money. Now, what I told you about the $200 was just up to a 40-hour week. Anything over, and we well know that she supposedly, quote unquote, worked more than a 40-hour week, was going to be time and a half, which is now $300 an hour. And it was to be paid by, I'd have to bring it back up. You guys could pull it up and see. It was released how much she was getting paid just from the state for being, the the defense. And then anything she did in overtime was time and a half, and it was paid out of a different fund. So she's a multimillionaire after this case. And I'm sorry, if you don't have enough integrity not to involve 4 innocent people, then all I can say is you're in it for the money. You're not in it because you believe that somebody has a right to a fair trial. So she can fuck right off. That pisses me off too. All that money wasted for a plea. Exactly right. She was really willing to take it all the way as far as she could. Listen, easy peasy, easy peasy. And in her world, in the world of Ann Taylor, she succeeded because she knew she wasn't going to get him off. I think William Thompson lied when he said we weren't sure that we could get all 12 people to agree to the death penalty. We think that it would have gotten, that somebody would have turned. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe it for a second. If that was the case, Ann Taylor would not have tried as hard as she did to get the death penalty taken off. She's not dumb. She's good at her job. She would have just said, let's go. Let's go to court. Let's go. You don't have enough on my client. Let's go. No, she tried too hard. Thompson is trying to cover his ass by taking yet another plea bargain that he's done his whole career. Oh my goodness. Oh, it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. And then to say, in the end, one of Bill's, William Thompson says, this is what's best for the families and best for the taxpayers because it would have cost this much money to go ahead and take this all the way to trial. You fucking dickhead. So you're putting a price tag on each of the victims' heads. We can pay Ann Taylor that much money to defend him all these weeks. But yet, that's a little bit too much money for each of these victims. Fuck you. Sorry, not sorry. And with that, I am going to shut this one down as well. I think it was a great live. I think there's many topics we could discuss on this, and they will be coming. I will be meeting with Maggie and decide whether we're just gonna keep doing this Koberger Wednesday. I said the fucking name. If we're gonna keep talking about this for a little while as stuff does come out in the case, or if we're gonna shut down and just continue on with our regular lives. And if it comes up, it comes up. I'll talk to Maggie. Maybe you guys can, maybe I'll put a poll into our community post and see what y'all would like to do, how you would like to proceed in this. And we'll go from there. So I won't make a decision yet. That's what I'll do. I'll talk to Mags. We'll put a poll up, let you guys decide how you want to continue on in the Idaho 4 venture. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you so much. On your way, if you have not hit the like or the unlike, the thumbs up or the thumbs down, please do so on your way out. It matters not to me which one you push. All works for the algorithm. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate your knowledge of this case and just the support that you've given us, the channel here. Thank you to the Mad Mods, guys, who I have the best in the business, and I appreciate it so much. Those that support the channel through membership, thank you for helping pay the bills around here. You're the best of the best. Big hugs to my mama, Miss Barbara Smith. Love you so much, and I'll see you guys next time right here. And if you can't be good at it. Can't be good at it, turn on that camera. Send me some video because I need some content. Love you guys. Bye.